This is The Gorge. This is a podcast where my friend Sara and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a game or game-related topic. This week, we're going back to Inaba to talk about Persona 4 for the PS2, PS3, and PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, I'm ready to get real nostalgic because we're finally talking characters, right?
That's This is the character breakdown, and because you and I have done nothing but play P5 since it came out.
No, well, I have done nothing but play P5 since it came out. You fucked off at the beach for a week, and then you came home and played P5. Yeah, I'm like, I hit the 60-hour mark last night, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I do?
I think I'm at 49.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
It's in the 40s, I know that.
Cause like I'm two dungeons ahead of you at this point, so it can't just be 10 hours. It's got to be it can't be 49.
I'll have to check after this. Yeah, but whatever. The point is I've been playing it for a long time.
We've played a lot of P5, and we're gonna talk about Persona 4 now. Whoops.
Yeah, because we're not done with Persona 5 yet, so we can't I'm not going to be done with it until I actually I'm not going to say I'm done until I actually do the social links I want to do in P5.
Right, yeah. It's not finished until... Really, you're not done with a Persona playthrough until you've beaten it once, and then halfway beaten it again. Then you can, talk about it, intelligently. You know what I mean? Because, all the plot shit that happened at the end of the game is now relevant to the beginning of the game, so now you're going...
Oh, that's what that cutscene meant.
Exactly. So, that's when you're finally, for real, finished with a Persona game, is when you've played it 1.5 times, actually.
Yeah, when you get to, the middle of the second act, and you're like, oh, now everything makes sense.
Adachi, you bastard! That's all playthrough 2 of Persona 4 actually is just you going... Oh, you smug son of a bitch!
Oh.
You know?
I see you, villain!
I see what you're doing here, you bastard! You're not that clever, except you kind of are. Shit!
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck. I don't want to cast any... To start with, I don't want to cast any judgments on P5 while we're talking about P4, but I do want to get this out of the way so that when we do eventually talk about P5, you can understand. Everything I've played of P5 so far, all of the social links I've done, all of the story I've seen, the story is better, the social links are not. Persona 4 still reigns supreme as probably the best cast of characters you'll ever meet in a JRPG. 100%. As much as I really am enjoying P5 and all of its kids, I love all of those kids, P4 is still the god king of the franchise.
Out of the ones that I've done so far, there are only a few, in P5, and to be fair, I haven't done all of them yet, so maybe there's characters that I haven't even talked to yet that are oh my god, you're the coolest. But, P4, the ones in P5, there aren't a lot that I'm I have to talk to you today.
Yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, P4 is pretty much nothing but that.
Yeah.
You know? There's, maybe 2 social links in P4 that I just never feel compelled to do. One is the sun, because both of those storylines I really don't care anything about. I really can't think of a third one right now. Or the second one right now. I guess Margaret's, but you can do Margaret's in a day, so that doesn't count, you know? Yeah, it's really just the sun that doesn't have... Oh, no, the tower, the little shit kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like his either.
It's just so whatever, you know? He's just a little spoiled kid, and, you know, whatever.
We should do an episode of the social links. That should be the third part of Persona.
Yeah, I agree. We should break down social links at some point because P4 has a lot of really good social links.
They're all really good.
P4 has a lot of really, really good ass social links. To really kind of help drive home how fucking good this game. I mean, God, you really can't. It is so hard to put into words just how good the character writing in P4 really is. Like, I mean, we're gonna try.
Yeah, we're gonna give our best effort, but like we could probably do an entire like serial podcast about Persona 4.
Oh, for sure. I feel like we could like turn into a Persona like podcast with just as much as we have to say about it, because it's like there's the general game itself, which is what we talked about last time, and then there's the main characters, and then there's the sub characters, there's the pacing in the plot, there's just like all the weird like side shit and like the music. I mean, everything about Persona 4 is basically flawless. Like with with the release of the Golden, Persona 4 is probably the only flawless video game.
It's like yeah, there's like, I can't really think of anything I don't particularly enjoy about Persona 4. Like, there are parts that I'm like, about, but there's nothing that I'm like, I don't like this part. Yeah,
there's nothing in Persona 4 that makes me go, I want to replay P4, oh no, I'll have to do this part again, never mind. Like, you know, like Ymir Forest and Symphonia is what makes you go, oh god, maybe I don't want to play Tales of Symphonia again. Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Persona 4 has none of that. Even Void Quest, which is probably the closest the game comes to having that part, is really not that bad, you know?
Yeah, once you figure it out, like, it's not game stopping.
Yeah, it's a little annoying, but it's not like tragically horrible, you know? Like, once you and yeah, it's that trick I told you, and I'm going to tell everybody listening right now. On the 7th floor of Void Quest, when the camera jerks around on you, and he got mad when I didn't tell him this thing, but I guess I thought I had told it to you, but I didn't. Anyways, on the 7th floor of Void Quest, where if you walk through the center of the where two hallways intersect, and the camera will switch around on you, if you hug the wall and like kind of cut around the corner, just like by the edge, it won't do that because you're not hitting that hitbox. So there's your Persona 4 pro tip to make the 7th floor of Void Quest better. I figured that out in like my 4th playthrough. I was like, holy shit, this is game changing. Oh my god. Yeah, it's totally life changing. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That bypasses one of the biggest things about that.
Yeah.
Oh, Persona 4 is so good.
It's so goddamn good. Like, fuck. And I mean, the biggest, and what we're talking about today, and what is the biggest part of what makes Persona 4 so fucking good is the main cast.
Yeah. Because one of, without a doubt, if not the best main cast in a JRPG that I have ever encountered.
The most likable, most relatable cast of people. Like, even the idol is like a relatable 15-year-old girl, really. Like, they are all the most, they are exactly the kind of kids you wanted to hang out with in high school, you know? Mm-hmm. They're just nice, they're good, nice kids who have a lot of problems to work through, and all of their personal social links are really interesting, and, you know, they're just amazing.
Well, the best thing about this is that this game is a treasure trove of character development and introspection, mm-hmm. because not only do you have the social links, you also have the shadows to give you a much darker side of their personalities and to see what they're really dealing with, not only internally but also like externally. Mm-hmm. That like you can't go wrong. This whole game is about pretty much nothing more than helping teenagers grow up.
I mean, yeah, that's basically what it is that you're just kind of like, you're helping a bunch of 16 and 17-year-old kids just work through their hang-ups and understand that, like, it's okay to have flaws, because basically that's what all of the shadows are about, is, like, trying to deny the fact that you have some pretty fucked up character flaws, but, like, everybody has... That's the whole point of Persona 4, is that literally everybody has these issues, and that doesn't make you a bad person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what Persona 4 is about, is that, you know, yeah, you have all these problems, and yeah, maybe you hate living in your shitty small town, or you're jealous of your best friend, or all of this shit, you know? Like, sure, you've got those feelings, but, like, everybody does. That's, like, normal. And that's what makes Persona 4 so good, is that it's just kind of like a whole game about saying, like, yeah, you've got issues. It's okay. Everybody does.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
And I think what really helps with that, and, like, what makes this game so relatable and why it's so easy to connect with, is because, like, it's so grounded and, like, really low key up until, like, the very end, where it, like, the last boss is kind of a world save thing. But, like, you're catching a guy that killed 2 people.
Yeah, it's not even, like, a crazy... I mean, like, they think it is. That's the kind of the red herring of the story, is that, like, you think it's somebody either killing or trying to kill a bunch of people. But, like, even the killer's body count isn't that high, which is a weird thing to say. Yeah. but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if it was like 20 people, that would be like, that's unreasonable, you know? But it's 2. That's like a realistic number. That's such a weird, you know what I'm saying?
It's one of those things where it's impossible to put into words what you mean, but, like, I get what you mean. Like,
totally.
It's
like, it's unreasonable to think that, like, some dude killing, like, 100 people wouldn't get caught by the cops. Yeah. You know? But, like, 2? Yeah, that can fly under the radar. It happens all the time.
It, like, in comparison to other JRPG bosses, or even in comparison to, like, other sort of, like, you know, grounded in reality series like this, and in comparison to that, like, the main villain's, like, impact on society is relatively low, and it's exclusive to this small backwood town in, you know, somewhere in Japan.
Like, rural-ass Japan. Like, there's really... And, I mean, like, the whole point of kind of, like, one of the other, like, themes of Persona, and it's kind of a running theme of the whole franchise, is, like, the fleeting interests of people, you know? Or what kind of captures society's attention. Because, like, after a few months, the murders, people kind of forget about them, you know? Like, oh, they happened, and they never caught the guy, technically, so we're just gonna talk about Risei Kujikawa coming to town now, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's a really grounded-ass story in some really normal shit. It's, I was telling, you know, on my other podcast, I was talking to Saturn about how, like, really, Persona 4 doesn't have much of a, like, actual story, like, until late October.
Yeah, up until then, it's very much, like, kind of like, almost Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, you know, you just go through the motions of, okay, here's the new character, and you go through their dungeon, and then you do that, and, like, we find out that, like, they're not really related in any way. They're just kind of sequential events, and then the story kicks in late in. And, yeah, I'm going to bring it up, that's also why Part 4 is so good.
Right.
It's because it's the same beat, where it's like, this isn't a concurrent story of sequence of events, like, this isn't an overarching plot, really. It's a bunch of short stories, basically.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, it's like, you know, 2 people get killed and then nothing happens until October. Now hang out with your friends until, you know, your little sister gets kidnapped. And then nothing really happens, and yet somehow it still manages to be some of the best and most compelling character writing in a JRPG ever.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like a soap opera or a sitcom than it is like an adventure.
Yeah, but it works because like there's no, like, really, there's a plot for sure, but it's a pretty, like, skin and bones plot from, you know, the end of May to October. Like, you've got this huge span of time that's just kind of like, hey, here's a massive chunk of time to just kind of explore these characters and figure out, like, what they're like and get to really, really know them as people. That if the game had a more locked in plot, like a real story beats kind of thing happening, you wouldn't really have a chance for that, you know?
Yeah,
like, that's what makes Persona 4 so good.
It's like, you know, there's no plot to get in the way of all this character development.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have to shoehorn in a plot to go along with character development. You can just kind of let the characters do their own thing for months. It's amazing. It's so good. Oh my god.
So, like, which, this is probably going to be very long, because we're going to go through the 8 party members, and, like, just, there's so much to say about every single one of them, including the one that has no character, because you are him.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a good place to start, because I'm not going to call him Yuna Arakami, because it's a stupid name.
Yeah.
It's Soji. Sorry, guys.
It's Soji. Like, it's... I keep thinking about this, like... The thing with Yuna Arakami is that it's so on the nose that, of course, that's his Japanese name.
Right?
His name is Yu. Like, okay.
Thanks, guys.
You know what did that really well?
Mm-hmm.
The Animal Crossing movie, which is a cartoon fun animal movie for babies. Where they have a character named You and a character named I. Okay?
Oh, sorry guys. It's just... okay, I think what, like, offends me, and maybe it's because, like... Okay, I think what it is in part is that the manga is not readily available. In fact, it's a total bitch to try and read the manga for Persona 4, because, like, it's kind of, like, sparsely translated, and, like... It keeps getting, like, it doesn't have, like, I think it actually, it does have an official release in the United States. It's just really hard to get those books, but, like, because of that, it's really hard to find the scans on the internet, because they keep getting copyright notices. So, like, it's really hard to read the Persona 4 manga. So, when you name your character Soji, you're just kind of naming him that because that's his name for, like, your game character, right? Like, to me, Soji is like the Persona 4 video game protag. Yuna Arakami is the protagonist of the terrible anime.
You know what? Yeah, I can relate to that. I can get behind that.
Yeah, like, that's what it is that Yuna Arakami is the main character of the really, really bad Persona 4 anime. And it's bad, homie.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that last time, but yeah, like, it's worth repeating that, yeah, the anime is... It's not great, and neither is Golden, and, like, it's just, like, what a wasted opportunity to have a really good anime, and you didn't do it right.
I guess that's why you have part 4 of the anime.
Yeah, exactly. If you want the good Persona 4 anime, just go watch go watch Diamond is Unbreakable.
I mean, that's pretty much it, yeah.
But you know what? Fucking David Pro should do the animes from now on for Persona, because... They have style out the ass.
No, clearly A1 Pictures does have style out the ass, because they did the fucking Persona 3 anime movies, and those look like Jesus shat them out of his butt. They look so good. Like, clearly A1 Pictures is capable. They just choose to not be. You know? Like, they just kind of decide to just not. Because it's Persona 4 and it's gonna sell anyways. Kill me now. Anyways, Yuna Arakami is the protagonist of the terrible, terrible anime. And Soji is the protagonist of the very, very good video game. There's my distinction. And
Soji is... It's weird to say this because he doesn't really have much personality, but he is one of my favorite protagonists in anything.
I know, it's kind of weird to, like, be as fond of him as I am, because, like, he has no real, like the protagonist in 5 has a lot of personality for a guy who isn't supposed to have any, But, like, Soji really is, like, a total blank slate. Even his character design is very, like, it's neutral colors, it's gray hair, it's gray eyes, it's black and white outfits. It's all, like, a literal blank slate. Like, he is
very visual novel protagonist.
He is. No, a visual novel protagonist has brown hair. Come on, dude.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right.
But, like, even, like, the protagonist in 3 has more character in his design. You know exactly what kind of guy Minato is, but, like, Soji is, like, a literal visual blank slate, and yet, for some crazy reason, I think it's just because, like, I've played this game so many times, I know exactly what kind of a character he is in my head.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, it's a lot of it is, like, our own personal extrapolation of the character.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of it is people's characters' reactions to his actions, and, like... well, for one thing, like, this is just me, like... And I get the idea behind, like, transplanting yourself onto the character of this game. I've never done that in any game. Like, I've never, like, played a video game, and, like, even a game like Tony Hawk or Rock Band, where you can create your own character... I've never made myself. Like, I've never done that, and, like, I'll connect to a character, and I'll, like, you know, kind of, like, transplant my bits of my personality onto them, and kind of choose, like, what would I pick in this situation, but I always treat them as if they're a character, and not, like, an extension of me.
I only did that once, and it was for Mass Effect, and I think that's why the Mass Effect 3 ending offended me so much. It was because I felt like BioWare was actually punching me in the face. But otherwise, no, I've never done that. Like, yeah, now that I think about it, like, other than Shepard, I tend to just make my own, whatever I think looks cool, or, like, I just kind of build, I don't really, like, put my own personality on blank slate characters like Chrono and Soji and stuff like that. You know, you just kind of build their personalities around, like you said, what their, like, dialogue options are, and kind of what the way people react to them, and their own kind of weird hidden quirks, like Soji's amazing obsession with cats.
Yeah, exactly.
You stare longingly into the cat's eyes so it can feel your affection. Stuff like that, you know? That's how you build, like, a character around a person who is not technically supposed to have any character. And it just makes him, like, what you get from the result is, like, a really likable, weird kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what's that one anime? It's like, Yes, I Am Sakamoto, I think.
Yes.
Where it's like the guy's just like a natural perfectionist and he can't be fumbled at all.
He's just, like, always cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the game, like, for Soji, that's what it pushes on you, is that this guy's, like, naturally charming and charismatic, but in kind of like a weirdo way. You know, where it's like, you know, he goes fishing at night and he's obsessed with cats, and, like, but, like, he does it so straight-faced that you're like, well, that's kind of charming in a way, I guess.
He just kind of owns all of his weird personality quirks, and I think it's just, like, a thing you wish you could be like. You wish you could be as comfortable with how weird you are as Soji is with himself, you know? Like, you just want to be as cool with yourself as this kid clearly is.
Exactly.
Like, I wish I could go fishing at night and not feel like a total weirdo, and I would, you know? Like, if I went fishing at night at the lake near my house, I'd be like, I probably look like a serial killer. And this kid's just chilling and doing his thing.
Yeah.
But it makes him really likable. I can't help it. You know?
Exactly. Like, he's so endearing as a character, because you get this idea that he's, like, a perfectionist, and, like, he always has to be, like, in control. And, like, that's really where, like, his faults lie in, is that, like, you get the sense that he takes on way more responsibility than he should, and he's kind of like afraid to ask for help because so many people rely on him.
Yeah. And it kind of makes sense, because, I mean, like, this is a kid who thinks, like, yeah, I should probably try and help my alcoholic uncle, you know? Instead of just, like, living in his attic, you know, his storage room for a year, he's like, I should help my alcoholic uncle. Like, that's you know, normal teenagers don't do that kind of thing. Teenagers with some problems who think they need to save the world do. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that. And, I mean, he gets a little bit more personality in Arena and Ultimax.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
And I know they name him Yu, but he doesn't really act like the Yu in the animes, so, like, it's kind of a weird thing. Like,
well, it was kind of like shocking how much he talked in Arena and Ultimax, because, like, yeah, the anime treats him as a very stoic character who doesn't really say a whole lot, but, like, in the fighting games, like, he's joking around and he's going on, you know, he's talking to everyone else and he's being kind of a cut up, and it's like, oh, well,
like, this is the character I always imagined he was. Like, that's, like, even with as much as I don't like the name Yu Narukami, I was so glad that he was basically exactly the way I kind of always figured he was when the fighting games rolled around, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it was so nice to be like, I was
right! He is a very leader character, you know? You don't... In a lot of JRPG, like, especially in the Tales games, you know, like, we've played, like... Would you say that, like, Luke or Lloyd are leaders?
Nah. Well, Lloyd a little bit, but definitely not Luke. I wouldn't let Luke lead a church choir, much less a group of people to save the world, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or like Final Fantasy, like, would you say Tidus is a leader?
No, Jesus God, no.
Yeah, like, there are protagonists and there's leaders, and, like,
right.
For especially, like, considering his predecessor, Minato, like, Minato is not a leader.
No, Minato barely wanted to be there, it seems like. That's why, like, female protag is so much better, by the way. Fuck you, Atlas, use canon, I'll fight all of you. Yeah, it kind of feels like Soji is, like, kind of the linchpin of the whole group. Like, if he wasn't there, I don't think they would be able to function as well, you know?
No, not at all. Like, and that it really comes through, like, mechanically as well, because consider, you know, the direct command option didn't become available until P3, or till P4, and, like, yeah, because Minato wouldn't be the kind of guy to actually give orders, whereas Soji absolutely is.
And I mean, yeah, for sure, it's kind of like, you really get the sense that in this game, especially, if Soji wasn't there, they probably wouldn't be the same. They probably wouldn't be a successful group, because he just kind of is the, like, unifying factor for all of these weird, disparate personalities. Like, even before Minato shows up in P3, Mitsuru was doing a pretty damn good job playing leader, you know? And she still kind of was. Like, yeah, Minato was, like, squad leader, but, like, Mitsuru was in charge, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, so, yeah, like, Soji, kind of that's what really gives him his character appeal, is that he does feel very important, you know? Like, it feels like he has to be there for all of this to work. And, I mean, considering what happens in the plot, that's exactly what it is. If Soji hadn't come to Inaba, nobody would have gotten their persona because of his weird touching people gives them superpowers thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also the other thing I just want to, like, Minato doesn't have social links with most of the party members besides the girls.
Yeah, it's only with the waifus. Which is, I mean, that's such a strange, like, it seems so obvious, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, because, like, I went from P4 to P3. Like, I tried P3 after beating P4, and I'm like, wait, what? Junpei doesn't have a social link?
Yeah, it's this shit kid named Kenji is your magician social link? What?
What? No. What? Well, then, how am I going to get their character development if I can't do their social link? Like, what?
No, that's why, again, P3 protag female version is the best character. Obviously she's the best choice, so whatever. Because, like, she gets social links with everybody, and they're all really good-ass social links, turns out. Like, that seems so... Like, when Atlas was making Persona 3, how did that not seem obvious to them, you know?
Right? Yeah, I mean, I guess they just had that much faith in their story, but, like, it's right there. Like...
It's so easy. There's 4 extra slots that easily fill up your social link requirements.
Yeah, you don't have to think of a bunch of shit characters that we weren't going to really care about. Like, you have 4 that we're going to care about more than the side characters, so give it to them.
I don't even know the name of the Emperor social link in P3 that isn't Akihiko. Like, I know he's the student council president guy. I don't know his name. I couldn't tell you. He's just such a nothing rules character that I'm just kind of like, I don't think I got 3 ranks with him. Like, that's the kind of thing we're talking about here. I don't even think I hung out with him that much. Because I was just so immediately bored with his character. When I could have been hanging out with Akihiko and his weird obsession with protein and working out. Like, come on, guys, it's not hard. Yeah. So, Soji is awesome. I guess that's kind of the point we're trying to make in all this, is that Soji is a bro.
He's great. He's a great character. And speaking of bros, there is his best friend, the Yuri Lowenthal to his Johnny Young Bosch. They're back to being best friends again.
Again. I'm so glad this is just a running theme with these two. Do you think they're best friends in real life?
I would imagine that they are at least close.
I want to believe.
They've done at least 3, like, major franchises where they play best friends.
Wait, what's the other one?
It's Tales of the Abyss, it's Persona 4, and it is Code Geass.
Oh, that's right!
Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch plays the protagonist, the main character, I can't remember his name.
Lelouch, or...
Yeah, Lelouch, that's it.
Lelouch.
And then,
I don't actually know how to say his name.
And then Yuri Lowenthal plays Suzaku.
Okay, cool. Jeez, look at that. Okay. Yeah, they're besties no matter where they go. I guess just because they've got like buddy voices, you know. Yosuke is like not my favorite character. I know he's one of your favorite characters, so this would be a good time for you. But I like Yosuke. I mean, I don't hate Yosuke. I'm just kind of like, in the grand scheme of P4 characters, I would pick other characters before Yosuke. You know, like that's all. That's it. You know, it's not like I hate Yosuke.
He was kind of the character that I was just like, okay, he's the best friend character. And then, again, as you do his social link, and you really get to know his deal, you really see, like, what's behind all that. Mm-hmm. And, like, you're like, oh, yeah, I can totally relate to, like, I can totally connect to that, like, idea of you're kind of, like, brash and cocky, and, like, you kind of, like, you're defensive. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, you're constantly on guard because you had a rough time when you first got here and you're used to people, like, looking at you with disdain.
Yeah, and everybody wants something from you. Like those bitchy... God, I hate those girls in his social links so much!
As someone who's worked in retail...
Oh my god,
like,
right?
If someone did that, I would probably punch them.
I would probably put them through a wall. I couldn't even imagine... like, being that level of selfish, but it's a realistic level of selfish, too, you know? Like, it's not, again, some overdone shit. It's people you probably know in the real world, and that's why you hate them so much. Like... Exactly.
It's like, that exact thing is something I could see happening to me.
Yeah. Where it's like, these... Just every time I think about just, like, as soon as they don't get their way, they walk 3 steps away from him and immediately start talking shit about him and Saki, I'm always like, why didn't... I love that there is an option to tell them to shut the fuck up.
Right? Yeah, that's the best.
I slap my controller every time. I'm like, you shut your whore mouths. Because, like, God, Yosuke isn't my favorite character, but I still like him, and I don't think anybody deserved to be talked like that, you know?
No. Not at all.
Fuck off, you bitches. Like, you massive bitches. It's so... it's so frustrating too, because you just feel like you could never tell them off enough.
Right?
Know?
And then, like, to make it worse is he has that line, like, afterwards where he's like, I better go talk to them and smooth it over. And it's like, dude, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
They're not your responsibility.
I know. And it's like, but he feels like they are because it's his dad's place. And you know, if your parent, God, again, okay, so one of the things, and I'll get into this later, is one of the reasons that Persona 4, I think, kind of stuck its fingers in me as tightly as it has, was I played Persona 4 for the first time after I had moved. I had been dragged away from my life in, like, a cool, like, trendy college town to a small middle of nowhere rural town where I had no friends and didn't know anybody.
So you were Soji.
I was Soji. Yeah, it was when, like, my mom moved us from the city to Coleman, because it was cheaper, you know? And, like, I played this game, and it felt so relatable. It was so much more just, like, I understood, and to have even this bullshit where my dad is a local business owner, and he says to me all the time, you've got to be on your best behavior in the store, because it reflects poorly on me. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so frustrating. So you understand entirely, like, where these characters are living and where they're coming from, to have just, like, none of these people are your responsibility, but you still have to be nice to them, because it's all about, in these little small towns like that, it's all about reputation, you know?
Yeah. And it's also the fact that, like, what he has to put up with is, like, okay, his dad moves, and then he opens up a big, major, like, outlet store, and, like, they're running the local shops out of business because they're the corporation, and they can get all that, and, like, he's not dealing with physical violence, he's not dealing with actual protests, he's dealing with people being, oh, it's the Hanamura kid.
Yeah, it's just people turning their nose up at him, and he's just a kid. It's not his fault.
He's like 16 years old. He doesn't have any control over what happens.
He didn't ask to be moved out to bumfuck Egypt. Yeah, like he has no control over any of this. But, like, grown-ass people treat him poorly for something he can't control, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you've ever been 16, you know what that feels like. Because at some point, some shitty adult has, like, treated you badly just because you're a teenager, you know? Like, it's a really relatable... And you're, like, a kid, so you can't really do or say anything back to them.
Yeah.
That would have any impact or change their mind, because then it would just... all of it would just reinforce this idea that you're some shit kid, you know?
Yeah, exactly. He can't confront them, he can't talk back, because all that would do is just make... it would vindicate them.
Yeah, exactly. And so you just... it's so frustrating, and it all boils down to those two bitches and Josie socially.
Exactly.
That you just want to strangle.
Like, I really feel like Yosuke gets a bad rap in the fandom because of his initial actions and his characterization, and I don't... this is going to be a theme, like, a lot for this recording, because it happens to every single Persona 4 character, where it's like, do you forget that this game is literally about character development?
Yeah, right? Like, that's literally the whole point of the game, because, like we just said, there isn't a whole lot of plot in this game, so... like, for 7 months, the game is about character development, and that's it! Like, how did you forget? Like, did you just not pay attention?
Like, yeah, did you play, like, up until, like, the middle of the game and then just zone out for the rest of it? Like, they couldn't have made Yosuke's character development any more obvious. He is... the first major social link you get. He's the first party member you get. He's almost always available. Like, and he's like the mouthpiece of the party because Soji can't talk.
Right.
So, like, he tends to vocalize whatever Soji's, like, thinking.
Right? He's the player avatar, in a way. Like, or the audience surrogate. There's the term.
Yeah.
Yosuke is the audience surrogate, and, like, he's a 16-year-old boy who sometimes says shitty things. I mean...
It happens! Have you ever met a 16-year-old boy before?
I have a 16-year-old brother. All he says is shitty things. Sorry. He literally only has one setting.
Yeah.
And it's to say shitty things. Please, talk to a few 16-year-olds before you actually... I beg any of the people... Like I said, Yosuke's not my favorite just because, like, I like other characters more. But, like, he is relatably 16, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he does and says shitty things. Sometimes he's kind of an asshole. But, like, generally has a good heart. You know,
I mean,
there's a few parts in the game that deal with him and Kanji that make me uncomfortable, and frankly, I just chalk that up to Japan. I don't chalk that up, you know, that's just Japanese social crap that, like, I'm not too qualified to make criticisms of, but I can say it makes me uncomfortable, but, like, that's just Japan being them. And, like, I don't think that should reflect on, like, the character when every other time he's a nice, thoughtful kid who just sometimes says dumb shit.
Sometimes his brain just stops and something stupid rolls out of his mouth, or something he does something stupid. Like, it's gonna happen. All of the characters do that in this game.
Yeah, like, the thing is that, like, everybody acts like it's just Yosuke. It's not. It's everybody. Like,
everyone in this party does something stupid and insensitive at some point because they're kids.
Like, they're teenagers. I can't emphasize this enough. These games are about 16 and 17-year-old kids. Like, what do you expect them to be like? Were you just never 16? Or do you think you're some sort of, like, special angel child who's never said anything wrong ever?
Exactly. Like, and to be entirely honest, like, for what Yosuke has to put up with, like, I would have said way more horrible things.
Yeah.
Like, I always think of the part where Chie literally spends all the money he has and then just brushes it off, and I'm like, I would have tackled her.
I would have actually slapped her in the teeth because, like, that's my money. How dare you? I mean, like, you know, these are just teenagers doing shitty, thoughtless things because sometimes your friends can do shitty, thoughtless things. Everybody does it. Everybody did it. Welcome to being 16. You know, like, that's what Yosuke is. He's just the most relatably 16-year-old character in the game.
It's one of those things where it's like, the more I see people talking about how bad of a character Yosuke is, the more I actually end up liking him.
Just out of spite.
Yeah, I will revenge like this character.
Just because I hate you people so much. Welcome to being me, Ben. That's what I'm like every single day. That's what being an Adachi fan is. All of the time. That's literally... Ah, shit! My microphone just fell over.
Oh, no!
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Wait, we won't stop the recording. I'm sorry.
No, okay.
I was trying to sit up and I knocked my microphone over. Okay. I'm back. All is well.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like, whatever. You know, Yosuke's a good kid, and he gets better.
He tries.
He tries. And he gets to be the protagonist of the Arena manga, and it's awesome.
Yeah, which is, like, really surprising. And, like, I really want to imagine that, like, for the Arena manga, I might have mentioned this last week, but it really feels like the way the course of the manga went is that, like, Yosuke being the protagonist kind of took the writers by surprise, too. Because, like, it starts off and it's Soji, you know, like, it's clearly Soji's story, and then, like, the more they wrote it, it's like Yosuke just kind of ended up being the hero, and it's like, I kind of imagine, like, while the writers were, like, you know, taking the rough drafts down, they're like, you know, he kind of just turned, like, because that happens when you're writing. Like, a scene will get away from you, and you'll be like, oh, well, I didn't expect this, but I'm happy with it.
Everything worked out better than I expected. Cool.
Yeah.
Sure. Yosuke is the protagonist of the arena manga is actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and it's a really good-ass manga, and you should go read it, because the art is amazing. Oh my god. Please go read the arena manga. It's a really good way to get the whole story of arena without actually having to play the game. Because, like, we should probably podcast. God, we'll be talking about Persona 4 until we're like 80.
Oh
my god, I was about to suggest we should talk about Arena and Ultimax at some point. And we should.
We probably should do that.
We probably should, because they're pretty good too.
It's fun.
They're pretty fun. And like the problem with Arena is that it's like telling the same story 70 times from 70 different perspectives, but it changes based on who you're playing the storyline as, and like that's why the arena manga is so good, is you get the whole story without all of that weird crazy shit in the middle. Anyways, go read the arena manga. Yosuke is awesome.
Also, Jiraiya is like one of the coolest looking designs for Persona.
Okay, and Susanoo is like not, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't like Susanoo, fuck it.
What the fuck, however you say it.
Yeah. Jiraiya looks way cooler. And then, what's the Afro one? I can never remember their third level personas.
It's like still it's Susanoo something or other, because it's like a leveled up Susanoo. But I don't know. I don't actually know how to say the persona's name. Yeah. I'm sorry. Somebody's going to tell me on Twitter that I did it wrong. Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
But he's got a fire afro, and he looks better because he has a giant fire afro.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, Ninja Frog is still definitely the coolest.
Yeah. Jiraiya looks awesome.
Jiraiya is awesome looking, okay? Like, it's really cool. You almost wish you didn't max his social link, just so you could, like, keep it that way. But, like, then his persona gets, like, different, like, resistances and stuff when you level it up, so you're like, fine, I'll do it. And the special ability that Yosuke gets with his third tier persona in the Golden is really, really good.
It heals and then increases evasion, right?
Yes, it's super broken because of that.
That's just, like, unbelievably broken.
You don't actually need to have a healer anymore. Like, you can just have, like, Soji and Yosuke, and if you want to, like, have two tanks, you can now, because Yosuke can handle healing duty at this point. Like, it's kind of crazy.
And, like, it's... Like, the evasion stat is deceptively useful. Like, upping your evasion is, like, that's way more helpful than you would think. So it's just so broken.
Yeah, I honestly played through, like, the first half of P4. Like, I didn't realize how useful the evasion stat was until, I think it was, like, Shadow Mitsuo, where I was, like, having the hardest time. And I was finally just like, I'll try anything. And I tried the evasion thing, and I was like... oh my god, this changes everything. Because it doesn't just up your evasion, it also ups your accuracy. So, like, those hard-hitting attacks that usually miss, so that's why you don't use them as much, now they hit more. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you should definitely keep Yosuke with you at all time, because Masuku Kaja is incredible. Okay, we've talked about Yosuke too much. I feel like I still had too much to say, but we're already at like the hour mark. Shit.
Oh, yeah, we might. I don't know. We'll figure out as we get further in. We'll figure out what we have to do. But yeah, so we should move on to the next party member, which is Chie. What were we gonna say?
No, I said you're right. We should move on to Chie, and the good Chie, the one voice acted by Tracy Rooney.
Yes. Oh, we talked about this last week, but yeah, like, whenever I think of Chie, it's Tracy Rooney's voice. It's not, you know...
Erin Fitzgerald's terrible, squeaky... It's her Tipo voice, but on a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah, no, it's Tracy Rooney is obviously the Chie.
The superior Chie. Everybody should think that. And there are people who try to look me in the eye and tell me that Tracy Rooney doesn't sound like a 17-year-old girl, and I'm like, I'm going to put you through a wall. I'm going to actually slap you. How dare you say those words to me? How dare you? Like, there's nothing about... Okay, we can't have this conversation.
She sounds like...
Really, there's nothing... there's nothing about Erin Fitzgerald's voice that sounds like a normal person.
Exactly. She does not sound like a Japanese teenager. She sounds like a character.
Yeah, she sounds like she's doing a voice. Like, she's not just talking the way normal people talk. She's doing an anime girl voice. Like, there's a difference, people. But that's it. We're not going to talk about the voice issue anymore after that. Because Chie is amazing.
Chie's so fun.
Chie is so good. Chie is so good. I love... Chie is, like, either my, like, fourth favorite character, maybe. Sometimes third. It really kind of waffles. Because I love all of her character quirks. I love the fact that I love the running joke of her just kind of saying whatever comes to mind and it ends up being right.
Chie's great because, like, she's kind of one of my favorite types of characters, which is the character who has such a thin veil of keeping it together at all times.
Yeah.
Like, she's putting on the effort to seem like she's not a walking disaster, but it's not a very good effort.
She's not very successful in hiding it. Right.
Yeah.
I like Chie because I like that character too, who, like, kind of thinks she's dumb. Like, she thinks she's dumb, but then she says things and it's like, oh, Chie's not dumb at all. Like, Chie's actually pretty smart when she wants to be. Like, she's way more perceptive than, say, Kanji.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But she thinks that she's dumb, and it's like, no, you're actually pretty great, kid. And she's just, you know, I think her and Yukiko's friendship is one of the best parts of Persona 4 because it just feels really genuine.
Yeah.
And by friendship, I, of course, mean true romance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are...
me.
Like, anyone who actually does romance Chie and Yukiko, it's like, wait, did you not pick up on the whole Prince Charming thing?
Yeah, the part where Yukiko's shadow is like, Chie's my prince, and I was like, go on. Do say more, yeah. You mean you think Chie is the perfect prince? I'm so glad. Come on, people. Like, the only good part of the Persona 4 anime is the bit where they made it gayer.
Yep.
You know? Like, the bit in it with the flashback and the crying and there's fire everywhere and you're just like, this is the gayest thing ever and I love it. That is the best part of Persona 4. 100%. Or Persona 4 the anime, excuse me.
Yep.
Because it's good. And I mean, really, why would you... It's just like romancing Naoto. Don't be the green Madoka.
Yeah, don't be green Madoka.
Do not be the green Madoka. Come on.
Don't break up that relationship, dude.
That's like hitting on your best friend's girl. Don't do it. It's rude.
And like her whole social link revolves around being a better person for Yukiko.
Exactly. She's like, I want to be stronger for Yukiko, and I want to protect the town where me and Yukiko live. And it's like, girl, you're not even trying, are you? You're not even trying. Come on. It's so good. Like, all of Chie's social link is really like, I don't think her social link stands out compared to other, like, really, really good ones. Like, it's weird, because I like Chie more than, say, Yosuke. But I like Yosuke's social link more than I like Chie's.
Yeah, Chie's, it's one that I'm never quite sure, like, what it's supposed to be about, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the events that happen in it just kind of feel, like, a little bit lackluster compared to some of the other ones. They aren't quite as memorable. Mm-hmm. Like, there's the one where you confront the bullies.
Yeah, in the alley.
And that's really, like, about it as far as, like, memorable scenes in her social link.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I guess that's kind of supposed to be, like, the climax of her social link, but, like, it just kind of feels weak in comparison to other ones, and I think, I mean, I don't know, I guess because they just didn't really know, like, how to handle, like, what Chie wanted to kind of do with her life, which is, you know, go be a cop. But, like, I don't know, it helps that, you know, her characterization in the rest of the game is so strong, and so likable. Like, all of the little scenes where she's just, like, the the smart, friendly, she just is a good friend, except for the parts, again, where she kind of screws with Yosuke.
Yeah.
But, like, in general, she's a good friend and a good kid, and it's just kind of like, it didn't really translate that well to her social link, which is strange.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, hers is kind of like, I would say, like, because I love her character, like you said, like, her character's great, and she plays a very important role in the actual story, but, like, on terms of, like, ranking just social links in general, hers is not, it doesn't really stand out the way others do.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower on the list of just, like, general goodness, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than the Tower Kid and, the other one who I'm already forgetting. Like, there's, like, a handful of them. It's, like, way better than those, but, like, the Sun Girls, like, God, I hate both Sun social links so much. God, I hate both. I mean, like, I'm at the point now where I don't even do them anymore, because they're both just so, like, I've maxed out the game. I've gotten all the social links, so if I don't want to do one anymore, I don't have to. I never do. I don't do theirs anymore. Just because both of them have the most boring stories. Like, I don't care about either one of them. So, like, Chie is definitely better than those, but it's really more so just because Chie is involved, not because of the story that's getting told in them,
Yeah, exactly.
But I really don't know, like, what it's supposed to be about. Like, there's...
Because the other party members have such, like, a natural progression in their story, and, like, they make it clear, like, it's about... Like, I guess hers is about, like, being stronger, but that's not really... like a thing that we can necessarily like tie to the way the other characters can,
Yeah, it's not really like being stronger isn't as concrete as like Kanji coming to terms with the fact that he likes girly things, and like Yosuke coming to deal with the fact that Saki died and he just kind of feels shitty about himself all of the time, and like those are really concrete storylines being told in these games, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know what the concrete storyline of Chie's is, because sometimes it's about, like, this kid who hits on Yukiko and teases Chie, and then sometimes it's about bullies. Like, but both of those storylines are kind of, like, resolved, and they don't really seem to have a lot of impact.
Yeah, like, what... I don't really know what the conclusion of her social link is.
I guess it's supposed to be, like, they tell you, they kind of tell you that it's like, oh, Chie loves Inaba, and she wants to protect Inaba, but, like, I don't feel like the social link does a good job of getting that across.
And it's something that's like, well, we knew that, because she's involved in the investigation team.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the game's story does a better job of getting that across than her social link does, so I feel like her social link could have been about something else. I don't know what. Yeah. And it would have worked out better, but like, as it stands, it just kind of feels really meh compared to the other character social links. Like, the other playable social links are like really, really good. Everybody else's is awesome. Except Chie's just kind of feels like secondary. I don't know. It's just not as great. I mean, she's great.
Yeah, but her development throughout the story, like the actual story is great, and she's a ray of sunshine for this party. She's so good.
And she's so tanky!
I love it.
She's so tanky. Her third tier one... What is her third tier Persona's ability? It's like, it just raises attack, right? Doesn't it do something else?
I think it raises attack and it does something else. I can't exactly remember now.
Ah, crap. You'd think I would have this memorized after all of the times I've played the game, but right. I do remember it's pretty broken. It's another one of those, like, kind of game-breaking ones. But yeah. Either way, I mean, like, and all of her Persona designs are super, super good. Like, I love the Bruce Lee jumpsuit ref. Come on.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that's so good.
Oh my god, it's so, so good. And even her other two, her, like, Darth Maul lightsaber one, is really, really cool. Like, unlike, losing Disco Ninja Frog to, whatever the fuck Susanoo is, all of hers are legitimate upgrades. And that's nice. Thanks, Atlas, or Soejima. You got those right. Thanks, guys. So yeah. Who's next? Who can be considered next? I guess
next, what do Yukiko, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you do meet Yukiko before you meet Teddy. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm going by joins the party, like by actual playable character.
Oh.
That's how I'm doing it. At least that's how I would go down the list.
Okay, that works too. I was thinking by meeting, but that also works because it means, yeah. Either way, Yukiko is great.
She's like, I love Yukiko. She is one of the most endearing and wonderful characters in Persona. I love this beautiful psychopath.
Fuck you, Pat. Yukiko is great. I'll fight Pat. Like, if I have to go all the way to Canada to fight that guy because he, shit talks Yukiko, I will, dude. We'll take this outside because Yukiko is
and you'll
great.
win because you're taller than him.
I would win. I would definitely be able to beat up this bearded Canadian man for his bad opinions about Persona waifus.
That's right, Patrick Boyvin of the Super Best Friends, one of the most popular and well-known Let's Play groups on the internet with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. This podcast of 25 subscribers is calling your shit out.
I'm calling your ass out, Pat. All right? I'm calling you out right now because Yukiko is great and so is Junpei. I'll fight you, dude. We'll take it outside and we'll fight, dude, because how dare you? How dare you talk shit about two of the most awesome characters in this franchise? You've got shit opinions, and I think your waifu is shit. Who's his waifu?
His waifu's Rise.
Okay, well, your waifu isn't shit, but still!
No, you need to shit talk Wooly, because his Chie is his waifu.
Oh, Wooly! Come on, man! Oh, for shame! A disgrace! Okay, but no, Yukiko is great because she's a crazy person.
She is so mentally unhinged, it's beautiful.
It's great! And I feel like it's not really brought up by other people enough, so I'm going to bring it up. She was really, really on board with killing Hanako.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was super on board with just how about we just murder her?
Why don't we just murder her to make her stop snoring? No, that's actually a bad idea, Yukiko. I love it, though. It was the best part of that whole uncomfortable sequence.
Or the part where you take her to an action movie
or a horror movie
in Golden, and she's like, "Well, no one was laughing at the funny bits in this movie."
Yeah,
and it's
take her to a horror movie, and she's laughing at all the scary parts.
It's yeah, that's because you're crazy.
It's because you're an actual crazy person, Yukiko. You're an actual crazy person. I want to be in that theater, seeing the scariest movie of your life, and somebody's just getting, axe murdered, and there's a crazy harpy in the back of the audience just going,
doing her Yukiko laugh?
Yeah, you'd feel like you were about to die, for sure. You would think, oh, I'm actually trapped in a theater with a crazy person right now. That's how
time to leave!
Time to die! This is it. This is how I go. Thanks. But she's great, and she's an awesome healer / magic character too, which is also really appreciated. I don't know, Teddy is technically the secondary healer of the game, but I literally don't know anybody who uses Teddy as a healer.
Who uses Teddy as a healer?
Who uses Teddy at all?
Pretty much, yeah, none of his by the time you get Teddy, you probably already have a persona in the slot to fill the Bufu gap.
Mm-hmm.
But Yukiko is just better.
I mean, in every way. Her third tier persona ability is is leagues better, because Teddy's is based off of luck, and I hate luck-based skills. Because it never turns out well for me. And hers is just burn everything. Okay? Burning petals is so ridiculous if you can also use Mind Charge. Like, she's just unstoppable. She's a crazy person who pretends to be, like, the nice, adorable, lovable, teenage manager character. And her persona's superpower is light everything on fire as hard as you possibly can. Oh my god.
It's like, imagine if Yukiko is like, imagine if Yuna wanted to just shank people.
You're so right. It's so true. Like, I love it about her. I love that she's the scary one and she can just kind of turn it on. And the fact that, like, she's just a weird giggling harpy the rest of the time. She's just like a weird screeching monster who just, like, everything makes her laugh. And the gag, I don't care what anybody says. The part where they give Kanji the gag glasses is one of the funniest parts of the game.
Yeah. I love her laughing gimmick. I think it is hilarious. Because
it's amazing.
It's that awkward cringe humor, but it's so over the top that it's still funny.
Oh yeah, it totally goes back to being funny. Like, at first it's kind of cringy, and then you think about it more, and you're like, she just laughs at the stupidest shit. And the best part is when Teddy cracks a joke and she doesn't laugh, like, that's when the gag goes from good to great.
Right,
you know?
Yeah. Like, Teddy, he makes the pun about zebras, and everyone just looks at Yukiko, and she's like, what? I wasn't paying attention.
Was I supposed to laugh? And you're just like, oh, this is a good gag. It's a good gag, guys. Yeah. Yukiko, I really like her social link, too. I feel like her social link is kind of the same, would have the same problem as, Chie's, where it feels kind of directionless, but then, like, it gives it kind of a legitimate, like, villain with the TV crew, and it goes and actually kind of becomes something good, because it's, again, this idea of, like, creepy people harassing a teenager, and, I mean, when she finally gets to kind of tell them off and be like, then I'll convince your advertisers to pull, and da-da-da-da, and she scares them off, you're like, yes, vindication. It feels so good.
Hers has a much stronger climax. Like,
it has a good punch.
It has a resolution.
Yeah, which is important. Because these are all just little tiny stories, just, packed into a huge game. Little mini stories. And all stories need a build up to it, and a climax, and then resolution, And, Yukiko's handles it really well to kind of be like, this idea where she doesn't know. I mean, I really like all the little bits hearing about, like, how the inn staff kind of make fun of her for her bad cooking, and the chef, basically made her stop. It was like paining him to watch her do this. Like, these little things to see that, like, because we don't really get to see the staff at the inn at all unless it's through, Yukiko's eyes. And it's kind of interesting because, like, you think before, like, oh, it's probably a shitty place to work, and then you actually meet the staff, and they're all kind of like family.
They're all really supportive of her. Like, you get, like, well, first it's kind of interesting because you get the glimpse of, like, the chef, like, took the ladle away from me, and then it's like, then you get later on where one of the staff of the inn warns Yukiko, don't go near the inn because that idiot reporter's back.
Yeah. And you get to see, like, these little things where they tease about, like, about Soji being her boyfriend, and they just they all seem to treat her like a bunch of weird cousins instead of, like, people who are technically her employees, because they've all worked there forever, and it just kind of is, like, a really nice, charming thing to see, and to, like, get the real kind of, because, her shadow makes it seem like the inn is the worst fucking thing. And that's such a teenager thing to do, though. To kind of, like, blow the shittiness of a situation out of proportion is, like, the most 16-year-old girl thing to do ever.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
It's so relatable to be like, I hate this place, I hate all of you, da-da-da-da-da. And then you actually see it, and you're like, oh, it's actually not that bad. She's just kind of, being an angry teenager, and it is kind of a shitty situation for sure to be like, well, you have to do this one thing, but like it also kind of seems like her parents really don't think she has to do it. It's just kind of like, you know, yeah, it's tradition, but if you want to move off, you can.
They expect her to do it, but they're open to her her talking herself out of it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, she was just putting, I think she even says it in her social link, she was putting all of these expectations on herself, and nobody else was doing that. You know, like, she was the only person doing that to herself. Yeah. And, like, that's a really relatable thing, to just, to kind of psych yourself out, you know?
And she's, like, a really good example of, like, and this is, like, for going forward for the rest of the characters, like, she is the first time where we see a shadow that is influenced by the TV, and, like, it's really, really important to note for analyzing these characters that, like, the shadows are distortions.
Yeah.
They don't truly reflect what that person's feeling. They reflect a distorted version of those like, feelings.
Yeah.
And, like, so when you're talking about these characters, like, that's really important to remember. Because, no, she doesn't hate the inn. She doesn't want to be free to go and chase after boys. That's that's her darkest emotions, coupled with the perception that the rest of Inaba has on her.
Right. Like, she expects too much of herself, and she thinks other people expect a lot of her. And I mean, like, the truth is a lot more different, you know? And it's just kind of all of those anxieties getting blown out of proportion is what it is. And I mean, like, that's exactly kind of what the whole thing is. Like you said, is that it's your worries tend to change in your head, you know? Like, they get worse the more you think about them.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of... That's exactly what the shadows kind of are. They're like the weird embodiment of you overthinking a problem, you know?
Yeah, exactly. This is... Persona 4 is the adventures of, like, 7 kids and their anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much exactly what it is, yeah. 7 kids learning to deal with anxiety and a serial killer. Like, and I think Yukiko's is one of the better examples. Like, they're really just, like... normal, relatable versions of it, where it's not like, you know, I'm a detective, or I'm an idol, da-da-da. You know, it's more like, my parents expect this of me, and I don't think I can live up to those expectations, and now I'm freaking out, you know?
Yeah, she's as close in this game as you're going to get to the rebellious princess type.
Yeah. And that's exactly why her little inner world is a castle.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Like, she's that archetype of character, like, done through a modern, more grounded setting, and it works out really, really well for her. I love Yukiko.
Yeah. They're good kids, Brent.
They're good kids, Brent!
Okay, so next is...
Kanji.
Kanji! We might have to do a whole podcast about Kanji.
Oh, Kanji's easily the best character in Persona 4.
He's easily the best character in the whole series.
Everyone loves Kanji.
Your favorite character is Kanji, and then your real favorite character is Kanji, and then, like, your second favorite is the one you tell everybody is your favorite, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, you could say your favorite character is Yosuke or whatever, but it's not. Your favorite character is Kanji, because Kanji is the best character in the franchise. He's a good kid. He's a good kid with good emotions and lots of problems, and he's just trying to fit in. And he's of this is because of Troy Baker being amazing.
Yep. He's great because he plays the perfect role. If he can be the idiot, he can be the straight man. He can be whatever is needed for the scene to be.
Kanji is like
there's
Go ahead.
There's nothing out of character for Kanji.
Yeah, exactly. Kanji is the perfect example of, like, the meathead who's weirdly perceptive. The part, and every time anybody says, like, why do you let them say you're not me? Well, if you played the whole game, you'd know that that's actually pretty important to, like, character development. And Kanji is the idiot who figured it out first when Naoto did it, and he's like, no, you just gotta let her do it. You know? Like, that's really...
Like, out of all the party members, Kanji's the one who sees the pattern, and he's like, oh, just let it happen. We'll just beat it up like we always do.
Yeah, because it's important. It's like that kind of like that denial is like one of the stages of grief. You have to deny it before you can kind of accept it, you know? Like, that's how people deal with things. Naoto is no different. Nobody is different. Like, that's the whole point of Persona 4 is that you're going to deny and deny and deny and deny until eventually you come to terms with yourself. You know? And Kanji is the most perceptive of the lot. To just go like, oh right, it's kind of just vital to a person to just deny it until they can't anymore. And hey, we're badasses, we can handle the boss fight that comes with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because Naoto's boss fight is a total busta.
Super easy.
Super easy. But yeah, like, God, Kanji is so fucking good as a character.
His social link is great. Again, Troy Baker's delivery is great. Like, everything about this character is just fun.
He's fun and he's really funny. And again, I'm gonna say this a lot. That's because Troy Baker, his line reading is incredible. There's a reason he's like one of the best, like, paid and most prolific voice actors ever, and it started with Kanji. I mean, yeah, his first real major role was Yuri Lowell, and he was good as Yuri, but, like, his chance to really shine was as Kanji, and I mean, he just knocked it out of the park.
Oh, he nailed it.
I mean, his line reading is so on point for, like, exactly the kind of character that Kanji is, that, like... And the crazy thing about what kind of a voice actor Troy Baker is, he came back, and I mean, like, some people say that it's Matt Mercer doing his lines in The Golden. It's not, it's Troy Baker. Troy Baker came back for The Golden, and the craziest thing, and it really speaks to how amazing of a voice actor Troy Baker is, he came back for the extra new lines in The Golden, and he sounds better.
Yeah, he really does.
He came back to play the same character after like 3 years, and usually that doesn't happen. If you go back to a character, like, you can tell the difference. See Adachi in Ultimax, oh my god.
Yeah.
So bad. But he came back to it, and in the extra scenes, like in the original Persona 4, the maxed out scene, like the scene where you max the social link, wasn't voiced. They only voiced it for The Golden. And the line reading in that scene is some of the best voice acting in the entire franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Because he really sells this whole idea of just like being just like this guy who was just like, I lost control of myself and I don't know, I woke up and I realized I was just running wild, and he gets like really legitimately, he sounds like really realistically choked up in certain parts.
Yeah.
And just like those emotions feel so real, and it's because Troy Baker is such a good goddamn voice actor.
He's really good at his job.
He's so good at his job. Please come back to Persona. I miss him so much. I mean, Matt Mercer's really, really good too, but it's not the same without you, Troy. Come back. Baby, come back. Yeah, I mean, just, there are so many little moments of Kanji being so good. Like, after you save him, when he's gone from being like the little shit kid punk to being like really, really respectful.
Yeah.
And like, or the part when they're like, we can't figure any of this out, and there's this pause, and he's like, why are you guys so down on yourself? I think you're amazing.
Right?
Like, what a good kid. Ben, he's a good kid!
He's a really good, and he's got some of the funniest lines in the series.
Oh my god, what, is he like killing him with the TV or something? No, Kanji, focus!
Or that one point where he just gives up and eats animal crackers.
Oh, and I mean, like, taking you punks down! Like, all of these scenes are so like, he's such a funny character, and not, like, in a try-hard funny either. It's, again, the voice acting is what's doing it. But he's just, like, a really funny character, and he gets all of the good lines, he gets all of the good emotional story beats, like the part where he tells his shadow, like, hey, I know anybody who's me isn't so weak that they can't take a punch. Like, he gets all of the best moments in the whole game. I mean, all of the really great moments belong to Kanji every single time without fail.
I also love that, like, the story of him beating up those bikers continues to escalate.
Yes! Like that one kid who said, like, I heard Kanji Tatsumi took down a group of bikers and a bear with nothing but a broken bottle.
Or, like, I think, if I remember right, I think it's the one point where, like, an NPC mentions that, like, he literally hoisted a motorcycle over his head.
Yes! And then you found out that he did it because they were making a lot of noise and his mom couldn't sleep.
Yeah!
He's a good kid, Brant.
He's such a good kid.
He's just, I mean, he's so likable and relatable, and just every one of his lines and all of the little problems going through his head, all of, like, the self-doubt and the worries and, like, the fears of, like, his mom dying and, like, you know, how you're perceived versus how you want to be perceived, and kind of dealing with the fact that your interests don't align with, like, the normal societal rules of what girls and guys are supposed to like. Like, those are such relatable, normal problems that, like, go through everybody's head, you know?
And yeah, so you have this kid who, like, his dad's gone, and his mom owns a textile shop, and he grew up, and he got really interested in that, and he didn't have a male role model to look up to, and so when the time comes, because he didn't have that growing up, and he's like, oh, the thing I like is bad, and, like, he doesn't know how to compensate. And so he goes in the complete opposite direction, and that just makes it worse for him, because now everyone's afraid of him. And he's just, and Kanji's not a bright kid.
No,
he's not.
No,
so
he's not.
He doesn't know how to deal with this. He doesn't know what to do, because he doesn't, there's no one he can talk to help him think through this.
And so it's just kind of like, well, I'll just keep escalating, and I'll keep, if everybody's going to be scared of me, then I'll give them a reason to really be scared of me. And, like, that's the wrong way to go about it. But, I mean, he doesn't really know any other way to act. Until, you know, it kind of, you know, eventually really, like, literally slaps him in the face, where it's like, well, you've got to come to terms with this now, buddy. Like, you're not that weird, you know? You worry, again, it's this idea of you worry yourself so much for no reason. You know?
And, like, that really comes through in the social link where they're like, Kanji, your mom's in the hospital, and he immediately thinks that something happened to her, and, again, because you're never given any indication that, like, his mom is sick, or, like, she has any health problems, or that she's, like, older, or whatever. But, like, you're still, his immediate thought is something happened to her. Like, she got hurt, or she got sick, or something is wrong, and I need to go over there now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's the same thing with, like, he immediately jumps to the worst possible scenario.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, you know, it's just like with Yukiko, where he just kind of, you think yourself in circles, and you worry so much about things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and instead of just being, like, coming to terms with it and being content with yourself, you're gonna try and push back against it. Like, these are all, that's what makes Persona 4 so amazing, is that these are such normal problems for everybody to have, and, like, I mean, these are things that everybody is afraid of.
Yeah,
know?
And it's interesting, like, between Yukiko and Kanji, like, Yukiko dealt with it by just shutting down.
Yeah, exactly. And
like,
just being,
she just
like,
stopped
going along with it, yeah.
Yeah. And then Kanji deals with it by lashing out and getting more and more frustrated, and letting that anger and that frustration just keep building up in a cycle.
Yeah. And neither of them are the right neither of them are right, you know?
Yeah. It's just different ways of trying to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And he's just so it's and then he finds this group of kids who, yeah, they make fun of him, but they've seen him at his worst, and they're like, yeah, dude, we know.
Yeah, they don't care.
It's like, we get it, welcome to the team.
Yeah, like, welcome aboard. This is how we all are. Trust me, it's fine. Like, it's a nice thing to kind of find a place where you kind of fit, because once you do, it feels more like, well, you can kind of just be yourself in a normal way, and it's really just, he says at one point that Rise saw the stuff he made, and at first she thought it was kind of weird, and then she thought about it more, and she's like, oh no, this is actually pretty cool, Kanji. Like, that's really cute.
Yeah.
I think, like, if you can just be cool with yourself, then other people will eventually be cool with you too. Oh, it's so good. Mm-hmm. He's a good kid.
I also love the bit where he's talking about his problems and stuff, and then like someone in the seat behind him like unknowingly laughs at the big hulking guy who likes to sew.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of stands up and he's like, who are you talking about? And he's like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't make it. Oh yeah, the big tough burly guy likes girly things. That's hilarious. Maybe you shouldn't make fun of him because he's still a really big guy.
He's still taller than all of the adult characters in Persona 4 and could easily kick your skinny ass. Maybe be nice to him, Like, he doesn't want to fight. He seems like a nice kid who just really wants to stay out of trouble and stop making his mom's life hard. But he can kick your ass if he wants to. Like, be nice to Kanji, people.
And I love that, like, again, thanks to Arena and Ultimax, like, the PS2 models in Persona 4 are not good. They are very low quality, and you don't get a really good sense of the character's proportions.
No.
Until you see the sprite work in Arena, and you realize just exactly how big Kanji is.
Kanji is ripped as fuck! Kanji's so jacked! Holy shit, in Arena! Oh my god!
Kanji is Jotaro Kujo ripped.
He's so jacked! Holy shit! Like, he's like rip a phone book in half on accident jacked. Oh my god.
Like, he's on par with Akihiko, who is in his 20s.
And does this for, who, works out almost professionally at this point.
Like, Akihiko enters Arena, he's like, I just got back from the mountains.
From, fighting street thugs in Brazil or whatever. I got back from this crazy training regimen, and Kanji is, just as jacked as him, just from kind of, hanging out in Inaba,
Right?
Oh, and I remember the other amazing line that Kanji got. Obviously, I'm gonna build it back twice as good as it was before. I'm gonna renovate your ass.
No, everyone loves the I'm gonna renovate your ass line, and it's really good, don't get me wrong. The better line is the response. Which is, okay then.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, just the ramen shop owners are like, okay, okie dokie.
So good.
Because I'm sure, that's not the first time Kanji has, quote-unquote, threatened the ramen shop owner.
Yeah, for sure. And
gotten mad about something. Oh, I love Kanji.
I do. I feel like we really could probably... If you gave me a little prep time, I could probably do a full podcast about Kanji. I won't. But, if we ever have, a gap in the schedule.
if we ever have, a point where, we don't have anything to talk about this week, we'll just talk about a Persona 4 character.
We'll just talk about Kanji for 5 hours. It's fine. Listen, Kanji is the best character. Nobody would mind. Because Kanji is everybody's favorite Persona 4 character.
I love him. And what's also, really weird is, in Golden, in the epilogue of Golden, where you're like, oh, yeah, he dyes his hair.
Oh, yeah! You have to remember that suddenly. You're like, oh, right.
It's not like an anime thing where he just has blonde hair. No, it's canon that he dyes it. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's a thing that you... Because you know, it's such an anime game that you're like, you know, Minato had blue hair.
Sure.
In Persona 3, so you're just like, whatever, he's blonde. I've seen anime before.
Mitsuru has red hair for some rando reason. It's cool. I don't mind. Whatever. It's fine. This is an anime video game where characters shouldn't just have crazy colored hair. But no, Kanji actually does bleach his hair to look more like a punk. And I actually really like black-haired Kanji. It's actually really cute. Like,
it is.
At first, I was like, I don't think I like this. And then I thought about it more, and I was like, wait, I actually love this. Like,
because he wears the glasses and he has the button-up shirt, and you're like, oh no.
But he's really cute and respectable looking now, and it's like he's really trying.
And you know his mom made him do it because your best friend's coming back. You need to look nice for your best friend.
Totally. Oh,
like,
absolutely.
I can imagine he decided to stop dyeing his hair, but his mom picked out that shirt for him to wear.
His mom picked out that outfit for sure. Like, he wanted to wear the leather jacket again, and his mom was like, you're not gonna dress like that for your friend coming back to town. And so she made him put on a collared shirt and sent his ass outside. But he looks cute, and I'm just like, always making an effort. That's so nice. It's just heartwarming, damn it. It's heartwarming. My heart is warmer. So, yeah, I love him.
Yeah, one more little fun fact. Something that clicked for me, like, literally last week.
What's that?
So Kanji has a tattoo, right?
Yeah.
On his left arm. And
it's a fake, is it?
It's unclear, but it disappears when he's wearing, when he's in, like, the spa, like, the towel.
Yeah.
It disappears. The reason is because you're not allowed to wear tattoos in saunas in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
So you have so he's covering it up.
Or the lamer option is that it's like a press-on tattoo. I don't know which option I like more, honestly. I
wanna believe it's real, because even more dumb than, you know, him just constantly reapplying a temporary tattoo would be imagining begging his mom to let him get it.
You're so right.
Okay, imagine the 3-day grovel fest he went on. Because Ma, it looks so cool, it's fine, I want to get it, I know what I'm doing, it's going to be really cool, you don't have to get me a birthday present this year, can I have the tattoo, please?
And it's just a shitty skull and crossbones tattoo. You're right. You know what? I like your option more, where it is real, but it's just a really crappy tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, because that's such a 15-year-old thing, too. Like, trying so hard to seem like a big tough guy is to get a tattoo, da-da-da. And then, like, it's just, like, the worst tattoo ever.
Like, there's probably, like, a local tattoo artist in Inaba somewhere that, like, is not very good at it, but it's the only one around, so he got just the most generic, basic-looking one.
It's somebody who, like, doesn't even have, like, a tattoo parlor. It's, like, somebody operating out of their, like, house, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I like that. I think I like your idea more than mine. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, he's a good kid. That's all I gotta say. You know who else is good?
Who is good?
Rise.
It's Rise.
It's Rise. Rise, best girl.
Rise is the best girl. She is the only waifu worth waifuing in the game.
She's the best waifu.
You can't waifu Chie and Yukiko because they're a couple. You can't waifu Naoto because, you know, gets Kanji's girl.
Don't be the green Madoka. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
You're not going to what? You're going to waifu a non-party member? Get real.
Get the fuck out of here. Who does that? Leave. And anyways, of the non-party members, who are you gonna waifu? Who is a train wreck, or one of the Sun Girls, who are both awful? No. One who looks like she's like 10, which is creepy, and like, oh my god, could you imagine dating Yumi Aizawa? I would kill myself. Oh my
god.
I would kill myself. Like, a literal drama queen with none of the good qualities.
She is a drama queen in literally every sense of the word, and I would not have the patience.
I could not. There is some soul out there who has that patience, but I am not one of them. So no. Obviously, Rise is best girl, and it's great because not only is she the only acceptable waifu, but it's fine because she's the best waifu anyway.
She's incredible. I love Rise Kuchikawa.
I love Rise Kuchikawa. I love her story. I love her social link. I love her characterization. I love that she is just a teenage girl who's willing to go, yeah, I'm really hot for guys because I'm a normal person with a functioning body. You know?
It's because you never really get that. You never get a character who's, like, flirty and then actually does flirt with people.
And is totally cool with it. Like, she's not, she's just kind of, like, blasé about it. She's like, yeah, I flirt with people because I'm a normal person, and that's what people do. Like, I like boys, so I'm going to flirt with boys. That's what, you know, girls do. Like, it's so bizarre to me that people think this is a strange thing about Rise's character, and if I see one more goddamn person saying that, I'm gonna, like, find them. Because this is how teenage girls act. When they like somebody, they get giggly, and they, you know, they agree with them more. These are, like, normal teenage things that, again, they're, like, people.
I love that, like, Rise's willing to, like, test the water, to, like, test the limits with that kind of thing. Like, she has that thing, like, if you romance her and then you take her to the shrine in Golden, like, late game.
Yeah, at the, on New Year's?
Yeah, and then she's like, hey, raise your hand if you're thinking something dirty.
Yeah, it's so
and she's
great.
like, wait, just me? Oh.
Okay.
Because you know, it's more like Soju just, like, he probably was, but he's like, wait, what?
I'm not gonna say that at a shrine. I think that gets you sent to hell. But she's so good, because again, even though she has a kind of, like, her background is, like, really not relatable to, especially to an American audience, because we just don't have the concept of idols, finger quotes.
Oh yeah, totally.
Even then, like, I cannot wrap my mind around the idea of why anybody would ever want to be an idol. Ever.
Oh my god, right? Like, why would you put yourself through that? Like, there are other avenues of performing you can go through.
Please, Jesus Christ.
Like, if you like singing and, you know, being on stage, like, there are other things you can do.
There are other ways than becoming, like, just the creepiest, just surrounded by the creepiest people in the creepiest avenue of work, who are all really, really invested in, like, your finger quotes purity.
Yeah.
She's 15. It's so weird. Like, no, I don't understand, like, why anybody would put themselves through it, but you know what? She wants to do it, she's good at it, so fine, I guess. And, like, even then, with all of that, like, her personal issues still manage to feel really relatable.
Well, yeah, because no matter what, you can still... Because it's not so much like, oh, I'm having trouble being an idol. It's, I don't know who Rise Kuchikawa is.
Yeah, again.
And it's like, yeah, dude, I can connect to, like, I don't know who, like, the person who's like, I don't know what is my real personality with this? Like, out of the people I talk to, out of the things that I feel, the way I feel about certain things, like, which of those is actually me, and which of them is what society expects of me that I've just sort of internalized.
Right, yeah, because, like, everybody has a different personality around, like, your mom, or around your friends. You talk different to your real friends than you talk to your, like, internet friends. I talk differently to my internet friends, and my real friends, and my work friends in 3 completely different ways, and I don't know if, like, the way I act one place is compatible with the way I act in another place. And then the question is, like, which one of those is the actual you? And the answer is, well, they're all kind of you. You know?
Yeah.
And, like, that's so relatable. And that's a word that's going to get thrown around a lot. That's already been thrown around a lot in this podcast.
Because it's persona, and it's all about relating to these characters in any way you can. Like, no matter what the topic is, like, you're going to find some way to connect to them. And, like, for me, with Rise, it was connecting to I don't know if I can handle all the responsibility that my job wants of me.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, that's something that, like, you get from school or from anything where it's just like, I'm a kid and you're putting all of this on me.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if I can handle it, and I don't know if I'm ready for it, and, you know, I don't know what to do with myself. So, yeah, those are all, like, God, it's so just, and especially just the way she kind of handles it, and the way it really freaks her out, especially just kind of, like, the meltdown she has, like, toward the end of the social link.
She ends up just crying on the side of the road.
Yeah, because she's like, I don't know what I want to do with myself, you know? Like, that is so human. Like, even if she is an idol in Japan and she's 15, like, that is such a human, normal feeling for anybody, you know? Like, no, nobody knows what they want to do with themselves. It's fine. You know? Don't worry yourself so much about it.
Yeah, like, she's, so, like, yeah, because how many of, like, people have been there, like, they've been on the verge of, like, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown here in public situations, and, like, so, yeah, like, it's even the most unrelatable concept, which is a 15-year-old idol in Japan, you can still be like, yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I feel you. I do understand the kind of, like, existential terror you're experiencing right now, because, like, the idea of going, these expectations everybody has on me is too much, and I'm at a point right now in my life where I can choose to either deal with it and rise above it, or walk away and live a more normal life. And, you know, like she says, she jokes with Soji, like, we could just get married and be like a normal, like, two normal people. And it's like, you could do that, or, you know, you could go back and deal with these things that stress you out and learn to accept it, and because it's what you really want to do with your life, you know?
Exactly.
And that is so, the moment where you can kind of, like, talk her through that part is super cathartic, to just kind of be like, yeah, I actually do know what I want to do with my life, and I do want to do this really stressful thing because I know I can handle it. It's just amazing! God, she's so good!
She's so great. And also, she most likely has the strongest shadow in the game, and is probably one of the most powerful personas in general.
Just period, because she's got a transforming persona in Ultimax, which is dope as shit.
Yep.
And her shadow really was about to, like, kill everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. It's pretty rad. She's pretty cool. All of her persona evolutions look awesome.
Yes, she has some of the best designed personas in the game, or in the franchise in general.
Telescope head persona is so cool. Kozion?
It's so great.
Is it Kanzion or Kozion? Kozion is the third level. Oh, yeah. It's so good. Oh my god.
It looks so awesome. Good. Oh my god. It's that...
Yeah.
Like that perfect, like, combination of, like, elegance and, like, but, like, it has that technological aspect to it with the satellite dish, and, like, that perfect blend of, like, is it humanoid or is it machine? Like, it's so good.
Oh my god. And just, like, just the it's so regal and so just perfectly designed, all three versions, especially, like, the third tier with, like, the planets floating around her.
Yes!
So, oh my god, it looks so good! It just is designed so well. And, like, it, I mean, Himiko, her first level, its simplicity is so beautiful. You know, that you almost don't want her to level up, because, like, the simplicity of Himiko is so nice that you don't want her to level up, but, I mean, when you do, it's even better. Oh my god. It just finds a way to keep getting better and better, and I'm so glad she got to be functional in the Golden and actually do things, like, to help you in battle and stuff.
Yeah. Oh god, like, she's literally saved, like, saved my playthrough, like, in certain situations. where you're just like,
Every time.
oh, like, I'm about to die, I need a buff or something, and she's like, I'll heal you, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna survive this round.
I'm going to marry you. Thank you so much, Risei. So why didn't she get costumes either, Atlas?
Yep. Like, she is an idol. Like, if anyone deserves costumes, it's her.
And it's like, you can see her during cutscenes, just like you can see the rest of the team. So why didn't she get... And you can see her in battle when she drops in to do her Himiko / Persona thing. So you could have given her a costume just like everybody else. It would have been seen and it would have been cute. I wanted her to get a goddamn Velvet Room costume is what I'm saying. Because
Yes.
It looks awesome. Atlas.
At least they've sort of fixed it in 5 with giving Futaba costumes, but you still, again, you can't see them all the time.
I know, you can't. Now, I need to test it more because I've been thinking about it. I don't think I've gotten a Futaba intervention since I put the Yasuo costume on everybody. So maybe it does change. I don't know yet. But you can't see her wear it while, like, you're in safe rooms and stuff like that. So she does wear it and you can't actually see her wear it. So.
Okay, good.
It's not as bad. So she does get costumes and they are functional. But please, why couldn't Risei get some? Listen, if Atlas sold me this game again on PS4, I'd buy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, they wouldn't even have to update it. I mean, if they did, that'd be amazing.
That'd be great, yeah.
But, I mean, if they just put the Golden out on PS4, I mean, I'd buy it again, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already own it for Vita, but yeah, I'd buy it again. I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, I'll play through that again. I'll do it.
Yeah, I love the Golden. I love Persona 4. Like, yeah, sure. Sell me this game again, please, I'm begging you. So yeah, we are already almost at the 2-hour mark. This is definitely going to be our longest podcast. Shit. Next.
We have, well, how many characters do we have left? We have, Teddy and Naoto.
Yeah. I was really hoping we could talk about the Jojimas and Adachi too, but I guess that's not going to happen.
We'll save those for the End All the Rest podcast, which we'll end up doing.
Yeah. More than likely.
Yeah, absolutely. But,
yeah.
like, what was I about to say? I was about to say something else about Risei, and, like,
Oh, no.
I just, it's great that, like, their character can take you by surprise so often.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, she's has, like, inklings of being, like, a standard JRPG character, like, a archetype we've seen before.
Yeah.
And then she does things like either get really angry at someone, and you can see that rage come out in a concrete way.
Like when she gets super mad at Naoto.
Yeah. Or, when she gets mad at Naoto about, like, treating it like a game.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
No, fuck you. The only person treating it like a game is you, actually. What do you know about anything? Like, you're just some detective who doesn't know anything about what's going on. Like, that was such a good scene to have, like, Risei, of all people, be the person who's just really willing to get in somebody's face and be like, I'll fight you. Just this tiny little ball of anger with big poofy pigtails. It's great.
And then, again, like, it's really nice that, like, hey, she likes Soji, and she's going to make it known.
Yeah! Like, none of this beating around the bush bullshit that gets so boring in other games. Like, oh, well, I like Senpai, but I'm not gonna tell him, please notice me. Fuck that shit. Go get him, girl. You do you, please.
Yeah, she's like, Senpai's not gonna notice me unless I make him, so she's very upfront about it right off the bat.
It's awesome. Like, it is so refreshing, and definitely, again, just the best girl, best
she's
waifu.
Great. Oh, she's best girl.
God, and so cool in Ultimax. Again, we'll have to talk about Ultimax another time, but so goddamn cool, right?
We're gonna be doing like 4 or 5 podcasts about Persona 4.
Well, it's because we've been talking about Persona 4 for like 10 years. Okay?
There's a lot to say.
There's a lot to talk about to get it out in the open. And I feel like I still haven't said everything I have to say about these characters, but I'm trying.
Yeah,
so...
we're trying to get in like under 2.5 hours, getting 8 years of dialogue between the two of us out.
Of amazing character dialogue.
Yeah.
So next
is Teddy.
Teddy! Teddy is good.
Teddy.
Teddy. Best part of Teddy is Flat Teddy.
Yes. Oh, yeah. that fucking voice that, not Dave Whittenberg, Sam Riegel does.
Neat.
when he's so flat, they're like, "You saved us, Teddy!" And the first words out of his mouth are,
Neat.
And he's got that portrait with his eyes bugging out. Like, it's so good. The angry Flat Teddy, or like the determined Flat Teddy face, is my favorite portrait in Persona. And that's including Adachi's dumbass grin before they fixed it.
Oh, before they fixed it in Ultimax? Yeah, no. Goofy ass Teddy. Flat, determined Teddy is definitely the best portrait.
With his bottom teeth showing and his eyes like just popping out. He's so dumb looking. I love it.
I want it like on a t-shirt or something.
Right?
You know what I mean?
I want like the figurine, like the really high quality, like $120 figurine of Flat Teddy's portrait.
I just Googled it. It's so fucking funny. Can we make this the title card?
Yes, I'll make Flat Teddy the title card. It's so good.
It's hilarious. Give me a minute. Oh no! Don't turn off, computer! My computer tried to go off. No, stay with me. Okay, I'm good. Sam Riegel is a better Teddy than Dave Whittenberg. I'm sorry, Dave Whittenberg, you're a pretty good voice actor, but Sam Riegel is Sam Riegel.
Well, Sam Riegel does that really cool thing where Human Teddy and Bear Teddy have two different voices, which is like, it's like, you and I played original, like, classic Persona 4, like, a whole bunch, and like, so, we got used to like, okay, well, it's a different voice actor, okay, we'll get used to like, Bear Teddy sounds pretty similar in the two versions, like, it's pretty similar, and then you hear when Teddy shows up and you hear him talk, and it's like, oh, that's a really neat touch that, was not in the previous game, and now we get this thing where he sounds slightly different, and it's like, oh, that's cool.
It's kind of nice to not have a mascot voice coming out of a normal person's mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to have, like, a mascot character voice, like, talking like a person, like, not talking like a person. Yeah, like, Sam Riegel just does such a good damn job, He
does. He really does.
Sam Riegel is just a good-ass voice actor as well. There's a lot of Tails voice actors in Persona 4.
There's a significant amount of crossover between those two companies.
A lot of overlap in those two franchises. And just, Morgana has quickly become my favorite mascot character. Like, oh my god, I love Morgana, but I still love Teddy. But, like, I just really love Morgana in
Morgana's
comparison.
so good.
Because, like, I love Teddy, but sometimes Teddy not knowing what's going on got a little frustrating.
A little bit, yeah. There were times where it's, like, a little bit like, read the mood, Teddy.
Yeah, or, like, please tell me a little bit more. I think I'm really tired of mascot characters being super into chicks.
Yeah, that's
I'm really
getting
bored
that
of it.
that like because like it started off as like a subversion of the standard cliche, but now it is becoming the cliche.
Yeah, because Bienfu did it in Berseria, and it's like the only part of Berseria I don't like. And like Teddy does it, and it's just kind of become the standard now.
Yeah.
Have the mascot character be like, I love ladies! Alright, well, can we please go back to the cute, innocent mascot characters now? I'm actually really bored of this. Just because it's just so...
It's over. It's the thing where it's just like, we don't need this. It's such an outdated cliche that like it's not needed anymore.
We don't need those kind of mascot characters in 1,000 fucking hot springs scenes.
Yeah. Ugh.
Why did the Golden add a second one, Ben?
We didn't like the first one.
The first one sucked. Why do you think the second one would be any better? What, because you added Marie electrocuting people? 1, that's weird. 2, I don't care. I still don't care about hot spring scenes. They're always boring. They're always the same fucking joke over and over again. The only time they ever do it right is when they, like, do something weird with it. See Exilia 2, which is really, really weird. Like, it's never fun. It's always the same goddamn gag every single time. Like...
You'd think Japan would just stop building hot springs, like, right next to each other like that, you know?
Or
like, put a room between them, and then the problem is solved.
Or you'd think they'd stop telling the same joke over and over and over and over again. I don't understand how this joke still has legs. Like, I'm not Japanese, but surely they're tired of this gag too. Or am I just
have to imagine, like, because it's in everything.
It's in everything. Like, we're getting off the Teddy topic, but really, it's in everything. Is it just so nice to see some characters wrapped up in a boring white towel that, like, you've got to add it to every single fucking piece of media? Really? I don't get it. I don't get it, dude.
I don't get it. Maybe if I ever go to Japan, I'll, like, be like, oh, there's hot springs on every corner. Oh, okay, so it's just, like, it's so common that, like, it happens everywhere.
I guess. I don't
Maybe
know. That's
it? I don't know.
I don't think so, but still. Whatever. Anyways, Teddy is good.
Teddy is great. He's, just, like... I was trying to make one, but I can't. Bear puns.
Oh, man,
I was like trying to work one in. I was trying to work one in, but like I couldn't. Like, I was like, he's not unbearable, but I'm like, no, that doesn't work.
That actually would work.
Hot spring scenes are unbearable. There.
All right, there you go. Well, it's kind of, you've lost the moment now. You barely.
I did.
You barely made it.
This part of the podcast is pretty grisly.
You think it was okay? No, horrible. Okay.
I know you hate it, but oh god, I loved every second of his bear puns.
Oh, they're so bad. I hate puns. I don't like puns, and I don't.
Like, it's so... Because it's such... For one thing, I think they're hilarious, because they are horrible, but they're just hilarious because of it. And the other thing is, it's such a good way to localize his character tick.
You're right.
Like, adding... Like, in Japan, he adds Kuma to the end of everything. So, like, how do you translate it into America? Puns.
I guess that's true. You know, you're right. I didn't even think of it like that. That's actually a pretty smart little localization trick, huh?
Because, you know, Persona, like, kind of prides itself on being as accurate to the Japanese as possible. They use the honorifics. They don't Americanize the questions in school, which is annoying, but we can look them up, so it's okay. But, like, I don't even know if Japanese kids would know these answers. Good God.
Do they know? I don't. I have no idea. I hope even in Japan they were Googling the answers to some of this shit. You know?
But no, I'm just like when I found out that, like, yeah, in Japan, Teddy, you know, even his name, Teddy, is a good localization of Kuma.
Yeah.
Because you get, it's a name and it fits the bear thing. Like, you know, they can call him Ted or whatever. So, like, yeah, it's a good way to localize that character tick and to make it work for the character even more. Because, yeah, Teddy is a total goofball who would revel in making jokes like that.
In making bad bear puns. Yeah, I feel that. That actually is a pretty smart little... I didn't even think about it like that. Because, like, I just thought, like, oh, God, puns. But I know that's part of the fun. But, like, yeah, that actually is pretty smart. It's so weird to me to think that he is called Kuma.
Yeah, he's just called Bear in Japan.
It's so strange. I mean, I can't even imagine... Like, I feel like even in my... This is so weird, but I feel like even in my head when I did watch The Golden, like, I was just mentally changing it to Teddy when they'd say it on screen, you know?
Oh, yeah, well, it's also like when you watch the Symphonia anime, where her name's not, what's it? Like,
Rain, it's Refill.
Yeah. Yeah, Refill and Genius. Like, I think
so weird.
I think even the fan subs used Rain and Genus.
Yeah, because Refill is a horrible name.
Refill's a terrible name.
Who the fuck? That's what you do to a Coke.
And again, like, Genius. I get Genius. Like, oh, his name is Genius. I wonder what this character's like.
Yeah, it's a little too on the nose, but I mean, like, you know, that was a long... Namdai's gotten a lot better at naming characters since then.
Yeah. Well, it's like, one of the things, it's kind of interesting, like, just a side note, like, because, what's, in Final Fantasy VI,
oh god.
Celis is named Sara in Japan. I think it's, Sara in Japan.
Isn't it Sarah's?
No, it's, like, it's, shit. Or no, it's Terra. Terra is, her name is spelled Tara in Japan. Like the American name. Because in Japan, that's an exotic name. So like, yeah.
That.
Like, it's the same thing where like, we're like, oh, this character's named Hikari and it means light in Japan.
Right.
Like, to them, that's us. We're like, this character is named Light Yagami because he shines. Like, to us, we're like, his name is Light, that's really on the nose. But in Japan, it's the counter of anything else. Like, when we're like, oh, this character's name means so-and-so in whatever language.
Right, okay, I feel that.
So, yeah, so, like, you know, having Teddy's name be Kuma is the exact same thing as us calling him Teddy.
Yeah.
We're like, he's a bear. Oh, his name is Bear.
Yeah, and we do kind of, I mean, like, yeah, technically, that is kind of it, but Teddy is also basically just bear for us as well. So, yeah, like, Teddy is such an, interesting character. I think my favorite parts of Teddy are when he gets to interact with Nanako, because they're all really cute.
I was just about to say, like, you know, despite, like, you know, in spite of Teddy's, like, weird girl craziness, like, his relationship with Nanako is so sweet and pure and like, adore, like, he loves that kid so much and he would do anything for her.
It's so cute, and just, like, when he worries about her so much and he wants to play with her again, and it's just adorable. Damn it. It's just precious. Like, I always love it. And it's just like, I really do like Teddy. As much as Morgana's quickly taken my place as, like, favorite mascot character, I still just love Teddy, even though I never use him in battle. I
never use, like, he's not a very good party member, but, like,
I just never use him in battle. He's just not. None of his skills are as great as Yukiko's. I just can't really find a good reason to consistently use him. I'm sorry, Teddy. Please forgive me. Like, all of his skills are not great. His personas are really cool looking, though.
Oh, yeah. And I absolutely adore his fighting style in Arena and Ultimax.
Oh, I know.
Like, just pulling things out of his suit and, like, launching baseball bats and, like, spring-loaded boxing gloves and stuff. It's great.
And his insta-kill is the best?
Yeah!
Oh my god, with the salute! Yeah, Teddy has the best insta-kill in both games, except for the obvious ones. Like, Shows. Mm-hmm. Shows is really good. We're gonna have to talk about Arena and Ultimax.
We're going to eventually, yeah.
Damn it. But yeah, and so, like, I'm trying to think of, like, right now, because I have other characters in Persona who I think about more than Teddy. But, like, that doesn't mean I dislike Teddy. It's just that Teddy is the least... In a cast of relatable characters, Teddy is the least.
Well, yeah, he is the weirdo one that, like, is completely out there in regards to, like, being able to actually connect to him, because his whole social link is about what am I?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's not really something that I can necessarily connect to as a human being.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure I know what I am, unless I'm actually an alien or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and you know what's really weird about Teddy, and, like, I was talking to Mary Rose about this, like, last week, and, like, we were talking about Persona, And I'm like, yeah, that's fun. And she's like dropped a question on me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that never really got... How did Teddy grow a body?
Pure will and sit-ups, Ben.
Like, that's, like, in a game that is, like, that goes out of its way to explain the nature of, like, everything that happens in it, you know? It's like, they just kind of brushed that one off, and they never come back to it.
He did sit-ups and grew a body. What's so weird about that, Ben? Is that
and, like,
so odd?
Wasn't it, like, they took, like, Naoto's like, we took an x-ray of him, and they thought the x-ray machine was broken.
Yeah, because all of, like, Teddy's x-rays come back cloudy.
And it's like, oh, so he's not really human?
And Teddy is, like, some sort of weird eldritch horror, because, like, the thing is, when he's in, like, teddy bear mode in the TV, he's still empty.
Yeah!
Like,
where does he... Well, and that's the other thing, is, like, the anime also brought that up, is, like, when... Because they had that episode where, like, Soji borrows the Teddy suit for, like, a little while to, like, I can't remember what he was doing, but, like, he was doing, like, odd jobs, and he had to be the Teddy suit. And he's like, I can't move in this thing!
Yeah.
And it's like, when Soji talked in the Teddy suit, like, the mouth didn't move. But when Teddy is in the suit, the mouth moves, and the eyes move. And it's like, wait.
What?
I don't...
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
Like,
what are you, Teddy?
Like, what's going on there when Teddy goes into the TV and puts on the Teddy suit again? Like, where does People Teddy go? Because, like, he can't fit in...
Yeah.
Inside, like, outside of the TV, he's like, the whole point when he takes the Teddy head off, and there's, like, a people in there, it's like, he's burning up and he doesn't fit anymore, but then he gets back in the suit in the TV world to fight shadows? Oh. If you think about it for more than 5 minutes, it really starts to hurt.
Well, first you're like, okay, his expressions change because he is a living suit. Okay, right. I get that.
Cool.
And then he becomes a person. But when he's wearing the suit, it still has facial expressions that are canon because they appear in the animated cutscenes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like an Alphonse Elric thing where, like, his expressions are there to convey his emotions, and they're really only done in, like, comedic scenes.
Right.
Like, Teddy's expressions change constantly, like, in canon. And so it's like, how is he doing that?
What?
Is the suit also alive?
Is the suit, like, some sort of, like, weird hammer space thing inside the TV, and it stops being a hammer space outside of the TV? I don't understand. I don't know.
And, like, because there's also the bit where Teddy makes the little doll for Nanako, and
right.
Dojima's like, "What's it made of?" And he's like, "Teddy fur."
Teddy fur.
But did it grow back after he shaved his fur off?
Does he shed? Does Teddy shed? Somebody should ask Yosuke.
Well,
be like, dude, does he shed all over your shit?
I mean, we know he has fur because Kanji keeps wanting to pet his soft fur.
Right. But...
what the fuck is Teddy?
But does it grow back? Or just, like... Can he cut off bits and sew it like a doll? I don't know. And when I think about that, that's terrifying. And I don't like it.
Is this, like... And I also think, like, what was really weird about it for me is there's that bit in Ultimax where Junpei and Yukari meet Teddy.
Uh-huh.
And he pops out of the suit, and Junpei yells out, "Oh my god, a white guy!"
Yes!
And so it's like, and then you're like, that kind of, like, makes it click, like, oh yeah, Teddy has an actual, like, race. Like, he's not, like, a generic humanoid, like, he's a white dude. Like, specifically a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. And it's like...
So, like, the question then is, when, like, normal-ass Teddy, not in his suit, is walking around Inaba and stuff with the others, like, does anybody wonder, like, why is this rando white kid living with Yosuke? Like, and how? How did Yosuke convince his parents to let this rando white kid not only work at Juness, no questions asked, as like their weird mascot, but also to live with them, because Yosuke has Teddy living in his closet.
I am 100% convinced it is because Teddy charmed his mom.
You know what? Yeah, 100%.
Because we've seen him do it to,
right.
like, older women, like, where he's just either in the suit or not, he just somehow manages to just immediately charm them. And I'm like, that's exactly what happened, is he sweet-talked his mom.
And, you know, his mom just bought the weird lie that Teddy is an exchange student, although Teddy never seems to ever move back anywhere. Teddy seems to be permanently living with the Hanamuras. Like,
Yeah.
I think, like, because he's still living with the Hanamuras in Ultimax. So, like, did they just kind of adopt him? Is Teddy now Yosuke's little brother?
They must have!
And there are so many other questions that come up from this, such as, like, does anybody ever ask, like, hey, can I see your green card, or whatever the hell the Japanese equivalent of a green card is?
Well,
Like,
I mean,
at any point, do you think the cops, or, like, Dojima is like, are you here legally? Because, like, at this point, it's clear to anybody with a brain that the Hanamuras, the people who run the Juness, are harboring an illegal immigrant.
Well, wait a minute. No, because that's the reason Teddy can't get a moped.
Oh, it's because he doesn't have, like, a
Because he doesn't have a license. He can't get a license because he's not legally a Japanese citizen.
Because he's not really even a person. Like, is one day
I guess
gonna try and deport him?
I mean, I guess, like, for one thing, it's lucky that, for one thing, Teddy can earn money because his friend's dad owns the, best business in the city.
Right.
It's also lucky that they live in a small town where everyone kind of knows everyone, and he's also friends with Dojima, who could probably just, like, get people to stop asking questions about Teddy. Like, if push... Because, like, you always get the impression that, like, Dojima kind of knows some weird shit's up, but he just doesn't want to think about it. So, like, when it comes to Teddy...
my favorite part of his character.
Yeah, when it comes to Teddy, he's probably just like, you know what? I don't know what you are. I really don't care. And I'm sure the answer would just make me tired.
It's so true. There are so many questions about this weird child. Like, really, it's for the best that Persona 4 is set in, like, a small town. Because, like, none of this shit would be able to fly in, like, Tokyo. Oh my god! Like, everybody would be asking questions about where this rando white kid came from. And, like, it would be a major problem. But as it stands, Teddy's just kind of hanging out at Juness forever.
Like, and yeah, like, I guarantee, like, part of it also is just that he's just that charming and charismatic that, like, no one wants to say anything bad about him, except for the party who has to know him.
Yeah, except for the party who knows him and knows he's just kind of a pest. And Yosuke, who I guess just now has a little brother.
Yeah.
Sure. Poor Yosuke.
Oh god, Teddy's so... Like, we just got done talking about how calm and relatable and low-key everything in Persona 4 is, and how simple it all is. And we're like, we both just legit forgot that Teddy as a concept exists.
I guess Teddy is, like, the one thing that reminds you it's, like, a Persona game. Like,
right,
when the game is at its most low-key, when you're not doing any murder shit, or any, like, dungeon exploring shit, and you're just going to school in a small Japanese town, like, Teddy is there to remind you, like, no, this is still a Persona game, friend. I want to believe, by the way, and this is totally off topic, kind of, but I want to believe that eventually the entire corporation of Juness made Teddy their mascot.
Oh, yeah, like, by the time P5 kicks around, like, Teddy's on merchandise all over the place. His face is plastered on everything in Juness.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to believe that, like, the official Junez corporate mascot now is Teddy, and like nobody cares. You know, like, there are real people wearing Teddy suits at other, like, Junez's in, like, Tokyo and stuff. Which is why nobody asks questions.
Oh my god, that would have been such an amazing cameo. If, like, you could go to a shop in Persona 5 and buy a Teddy doll.
Oh my god, maybe the option will come up. I hope so.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, give it time, because, like, you get gifts from people, and you can use them to decorate your room. You're not there yet, but you can. And I hope... You can get a Jack Frost doll, so maybe you can get a Teddy doll.
Well, yeah, speaking of that, that's the other weird thing about Persona. Like,
is that the Personas can be merch?
Yeah, like, Jack Frost exists as merchandise within Persona 4... And it's like, well, okay, where did this design come from then?
I mean, if you think about it a little bit, it's kind of like, like in P5, they call it the cognitive world. So, like, clearly Jack Frost was some sort of, like, weird mascot character in like, Japan, and then, like, in, like, the Persona version of Japan, and then, like, eventually became so popular that the Persona Jack Frost, or the shadow thing, Jack Frost, manifested as, like, an actual, like, entity, I guess?
That has to be it.
Right? Because the other option is way weirder, in that the Jack Frost, like, persona came first, and somebody saw it and decided to make merch out of it instead of ask questions. You know? Like, the other option is way weirder, and is probably the right answer now that I think about it for a little bit. I'm like, that's probably the truth. Shit. We got way off topic.
We did.
That's
so
okay.
let's get on to the last character then.
Let's wrap this shit up, because Naoto is amazing.
Naoto is great, and she's, like, I love this smart character who's, again, like everyone else, has her weird quirks, and hers is that she just talks.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because if you weren't going to, I was going to. Because, boy, howdy, the part at the end of the game when you're confronting Adachi and Naoto just lays it all out, I'm amazed that the party didn't start playing Go Fish with Adachi at a certain point. Like, I wanted Naoto to turn around and everybody's playing cards like, are you done now?
I always think of the part, like, where it stands out the most to me is not that part. It's the part where after Nanako gets kidnapped, and she's dashing to the Dojima house.
She's talking the whole time.
While she's doing that, she's on the phone with I can't remember who, and she's out of breath. Like, giving this whole long spiel about how Nanako would never open the door for someone that she doesn't know. And it's like...
Right.
And she's giving this whole big thing while she's running and she's panting, she's exhausted. Like, Naoto, you are a small little thing, you're pretty frail, you need to save your breath to get to the house without passing out.
That's why Nanako got kidnapped, is because Naoto couldn't run as fast as she needed to because she was too busy talking. Because, good God, this girl talks a lot. I mean, you would expect her to be, and they kind of introduce her as, like, the weird stoic character who's, like, the mysterious boy in the hat and nobody knows who he is and all this, using kind of, like, hitting on kanji a lot. It's kind of weird and, like, you know, kind of cool. But, like, you think Naoto's gonna be that stoic character, you know, the one who doesn't talk a lot and is kind of mysterious. And then you meet Naoto and she won't shut the fuck up.
It's great. I love it. Because, for one thing, like, they don't really bring it up.
No, they don't. That's the best part.
It's because, like, for most anime games like that, like, the running gag of a character is something that they'll bring up in the game to, like, make sure, hey, did you notice the joke?
Yeah.
Like, but Naoto will just keep on talking, and at no point does Yosuke be like, man, she really has that's a mouthful, Naoto. Like,
yeah, like, you've got a lot to say, Naoto.
Like, no one says anything, they just kind of let her go.
And boy, she really, like I said, she really does talk a lot. Like, the part really that did stand out to me is, like, you're literally about to fight the final boss of the game, as you think, anyways. Like, you're right there in front of the killer, the one that you guys have been looking for, like, almost a year now. For 6 months. And, like, you're just gonna talk a lot to I mean, like, the crazy thing is, we've all been over this. Like, Adachi told everybody, like, yeah, I killed him, and here's why. You know? It's like, you don't need to lay it all out and be like, this is why you killed them. We know!
We get it, Naoto, we get it. But no, she loves to talk.
She loves to talk. She's really, really wishes she was Sherlock Holmes. And, I mean, I really love her, because she is kind of a weirdo. Honestly, the best thing, if everybody, like, the two characters who probably benefited the most from the Golden, like, one is obvious, it's Adachi. The other, you don't realize it, is Naoto, because Naoto joins the party really, really, really late.
Really late. In vanilla, you have 22 days to complete her social link. She is available to talk to for 22 days.
That is so hard. I never, in vanilla, I never once maxed out her social link because I had a bunch of other shit going on at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like, it's, and you have to be at rank 5 courage, and if you fuck up dialogue choices, she's one of the only other ones who you can reverse. Her and I are the only two characters, I think, who you can, like, get the social link reversed. So, like, if you fuck up hard enough, there's literally no way you can complete her social link in time.
Exactly. It's so hard.
It is so hard, and the best part of the Golden is that it gives you an extra, like, 2 weeks to not just, like, hang out with Naoto, but to, like, get to know her, because she joins the party so late, she doesn't get a lot of options, like, chances to hang out with the party. Like, there's the school trip, but that's before she joins the party. But then, like, the Golden added the ski trip and stuff like that, so you actually get to, like, hang out with Naoto as, like, a friend, and it's really nice. Because otherwise, like, she's hard to know.
Yeah, they really, really should have switched hers and Mitsuo's dungeons.
Right? Like, for sure. They really needed her to get in sooner, to just kind of... But, I mean, like, I don't know, though, because part of Naoto's setup is that, like, you know, they catch Mitsuo and they try to make him seem like the real killer, and that's why she lets herself be kidnapped, is to prove that they're wrong, because they are wrong.
Yeah.
Like...
But
so, like,
they could have worked around it, but, like...
They could have found a way.
Or, you know, she joins in the Mitsuo dungeon.
Yeah. Like, that would have been ideal, is to pull a Chie, where she gets her persona in the middle of a dungeon, and then you've got, like, way more time to get to know her. Because, like, you really don't get a chance to really know Naoto until the Golden rolls around, which, I mean, is definitely helpful, but just, like, she doesn't get a chance to really hang out and be, like, friend buddies with everybody else, you know? So, it's kind of a bummer, and I'm really glad for the Golden because of it. Because, like, the ski trip is definitely some of the best part of the Golden, because it's all really cute.
Yeah.
It's just fun, and, I mean, don't date Naoto.
No, I mean, the cutscene in the Golden is proof why you should not date Naoto.
Don't be that guy. Do not be that guy who dates the guy your friend is into. Nobody likes that guy, alright? Don't be the Green Madoka.
Yeah, don't be Green Madoka. Just don't do it. I'm gonna need to link that image, like, in the description, because no one's gonna know what the fuck we're talking about.
Listen, anybody should know what the fuck we're talking about, because, like, for one, it's a hilarious post, and if you are listening to this podcast, you've probably played Persona 4. Like, everybody knows what that means at this point, because it's a good meme, Ben. It's a great meme. And, like, man, I just really... And again, Ultimax is really good for her because she
Oh,
gets
yeah.
to be a total badass in Arena.
Dude,
Ultimax.
like her story in Arena is like, is this even Persona anymore?
Yeah, it's like badass detective cool shit. And you're like, yes, this is the best. Like, she just gets to be a badass.
It's like everyone's like, Chie's like, I'm gonna be a cop, and like Yosuke is like, I'm gonna, work at Junes, and Kanji's like, I'm gonna work at my mom's shop, and Naoto's like, I'm going to become a secret agent. I'm going
to join the Shadow Operatives.
I'm going to use spy technology.
And
there's
I'm
like
Sony Bio.
There's that bit in Arena, like her opening scene in Arena, where she's like, I pull out my tracer gun and I shoot a tracer on the back of the car, and I'm like, what?
I thought you were a detective, not a fucking spy. But no, she's just decided to also go, I guess, that's a thing a detective would have. Look, the point is, like, everybody else in Arena is doing normal ass shit, and then here's fucking Naoto just being like, I'm going to hang out with members of an elite government organization dedicated to fighting and destroying shadow monsters. Yeah!
And it's also worth noting that, like, Arena takes place, 2-3 months after 4?
Yes.
She's still, 15!
Yeah, she's still just a kid, just kind of doing her thing, hanging out with a bunch of secret agents, including a lady in a giant fur coat. Honestly, the most unrealistic part of Arena, of all of it, is that Naoto didn't comment on Mitsuru's totally unwieldy giant fur coat.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right? Because, who the fuck fights in a big-ass fur coat, Mitsuru? I mean, really, who does that? You, I guess, but still, it's weird.
It's really weird. And also, the other thing that, it really bothers me about Arena and Ultimax is that Naoto's the only one not in her school uniform.
Yeah, but she doesn't go into the TV in her school uniform.
No,
right?
I know, but that's what I mean, she's the only party member who doesn't wear it. And it's consistency. Come on, guys.
But, hold on. I am actually doubting myself now. Does Naoto go into the TV in her school uniform?
No, she doesn't, but, my point is that...
in game, in Persona 4,
No, in Persona 4 she wears a uniform. Yeah, she wears her uniform.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, I get it, because she's not at school, but then again, neither is Soji.
Yeah, Soji is just wearing his uniform.
That actually is really weird. Why is Soji wearing his uniform? I guess because he just kind of considers it as, his TV exploring outfit.
I guess, but,
strange.
Well, the other weird thing is that Soji showed up at Inaba wearing his uniform.
Yeah, that is weird. I guess they could have come up with a better way to hand-wave that. Couldn't he have changed into it? Once it was Dojima's like, oh yeah, we still have your uniform. I hadn't gotten around to giving it back to the school yet. And Soji's like, hey, I guess I should just wear this into the TV because it feels right, But instead, he shows up to Inaba in his uniform. What, dude? Do you think you're going to be able to convince Dojima to let you move back in with him? I don't think so. I think Dojima is glad to be rid of you. As much as he likes you, too much weird shit happens when you come around.
Case in point, what happens in Arena and Ultimax?
Maybe you should just stay gone, Soji.
But no, it's just, I remember noting that when I first started seeing trailers and gameplay of Arena, I'm like, why is Naoto the only one not wearing her uniform?
It's because her detective jacket and plaid pants look fucking awesome.
You're right. That's true. That's 100% true. You're right. I also love...
just rule of cool.
I just also love, speaking of that, in Arena, that, she's upgraded to just using a plethora of guns.
I know! It's so cool!
See, that's another weird thing. Naoto has a gun license.
Yeah! I'm actually really confused by the fact that she's just a 15-year-old who's kind of allowed to carry... we were just saying how relatable Persona is, but there are a few weird things in 4, like the fact that a 15-year-old girl is allowed to carry around a revolver, no big deal.
Yeah, and, we know, based on based on just what Naoto's personality is like, is that no, she's not carrying it illegally. She would not carry a firearm illegally.
Right. So,
And, you know, in 5, they get around it by saying they're airsoft guns that are made real by the nature of the metaverse.
Right.
So, Naoto just has guns, and Dojima seems to be cool with it. Which, we both joke that he has a lot of tolerance for things, but, I'm pretty sure he would call that out if it were an issue.
It is a little odd that Naoto is allowed to, just kind of cart a gun around. I'm, trying to think of a way that this could possibly make sense, and I'm coming up blank. So no, dude, I don't know why she gets to carry a gun around, but it's super fucking weird, right?
Well, now that I think about it, the other weird thing is that, you get your items from Daidara, right? Your weapons from Daidara, and
right?
They're implied to just be, antique weaponry, right?
Yes.
But you can also buy guns from him.
Maybe Daidara has some crazy secret hookup.
No.
Some, fucked up Yakuza shit going on.
No, my theory about this, and I'll go into it more depth for the next podcast when we talk about side characters. My theory is that Daidara was a party member in a Persona game that we never played. And that he has picked up on its Persona shit, and he's like, alright, I'm gonna let these kids just go, because I know kind of what they're doing.
I want to play the secret Persona game where Daidara was a playable character.
Right?
Know?
Back in, the 70s when he was a high schooler,
that would be
he was
so
the
dope.
He was, the party member, and he's like, I see what's happening.
That would be dope as shit, though. Shut up! Oh, man. Man, okay, this is super off topic, but could you imagine a period Persona game that's set in the 80s or some shit?
Right? I know.
Oh, what the fuck? That'd be so cool. Oh my god. I want that.
I do too.
I really want that. Man, that would be really cool. Shit. You know, because games set in the 70s are kind of trendy right now. Give me a Persona game set in the 70s or 80s.
I want to see 70s Japan. Come on.
I know, that would be really cool. I've seen cool pictures. Come on, guys! I've seen Kamiya in his leather jacket. I know it's possible. What else? Do we have anything else about Naoto we want to get off our chest? I mean, she's really ridiculous, and I really love her.
I'm really glad that Golden fixed her so that I'm actually able to use her.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And I'm really glad that she's just, gets all of she's the good straight man kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
I really love Are You a Pack of Idiots?
Oh my god, that's the best.
It's the best scene. The whole game scene is amazing.
She also has that expression, just that totally sour face.
Yes! Oh my god. Her shocked expression is so funny, too. Just you're all stupid. I love it. I think it's so fucking funny. And, the whole King's Game scene is probably the best scene in the game. You think?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably one of the funnier ones.
That's exactly the kind of scene we needed for this game.
Yeah, because it's really, really ridiculous. And Laura Bailey and Amanda Wynn Lee do great drunk voices.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Right? They're really funny.
Oh, I'm so glad Amanda Wynn Lee is in 5.
I know! I wish Laura Bailey would come back in some capacity, too.
I know, I wish Laura Bailey would play Rise again instead of fucking Ashley Birch.
Oh, fucking Ashley Birch.
Did you? I don't want to be mean, but I kind of do, because the Birch siblings are kind of, insufferable.
You're right, go for it, be mean.
I showed you that tweet where Anthony Birch is like, I can't believe the dialogue in Persona 5.
Oh, yeah.
And people are like, literally, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I literally have I have no fucking clue what scene he could possibly be talking about. I can't even... comprehend. Because, like, the dialogue is perfectly fine. It's
fine.
Not stilted at all. What the fuck?
I don't know what, but like, so, like, people are making fun of him about it, and the most savage tweet out of the bunch someone was like, it was, you know, that's a lot coming from Anthony Birch, considering his sister ruined Dancing All Night.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, no, like, joke about forcing outdated memes into 5 or whatever, like, you know, no joke about his Gearbox writing for Borderlands could ever be as savage as that.
Ashley Birch really did just ruin. I mean, like, Dancing All Night was a game I was never going to play in the first place, and you'll never convince me it's canon. Fight me. I'll fight literally anybody over this. Because it's just... Have you ever read the plot for Dancing All Night?
It's stupid. I read enough to be like, no thanks.
No, it's super stupid, because there's still, like, eldritch gods and shit involved with this fucking rhythm game about idols. Like, that is the point. Dancing All Night is absolutely the part where Persona 4 jumped the shark super, super hard, and it never should have happened. But
Unfortunately, it jumped the shark at its last entry, but
Thank
still.
God, but still. The only good thing was that everybody got some really dope designs out of it. But,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Still, the point is, like, go away, Birch siblings. Go back to making Hey Ash, What You Playin'. That was funny, and that was literally all you should have ever been allowed to do. Ever.
Oh. Anthony Birch is such a bad... Like, I made that tweet...
Like a tool bag.
Anthony Birch is the writing equivalent of Griffin McElroy dabbing.
Just the sad, pathetic dab, yeah.
Yeah, just... Because I know you've seen the picture of him.
Of course I
like,
have.
You've seen his half-hearted, just, like, limp... The limpest possible, like...
the saddest, most, like, half-assed dab in the universe. That's exactly Anthony Birch's writing. Like, they should never been allowed anywhere near Persona, period. Any of them. I mean, Anthony Birch should have been slapped in the face for even, like, trying to buy a copy of 5. You know?
Right? Like, you made Borderlands 2, you don't deserve this.
You don't get a conversation. Like, you don't get to be part of the Persona 5 conversation, buddy. You gotta go. Sorry. Like, no. So, yeah, whatever. The point is, I really love Naoto, a lot. And I love
so
Persona
much.
4's characters. And...
There are books more we could talk, like full-on encyclopedias of Persona that you and I could talk about.
We're not even remotely done, because, we still haven't even talked about any of the Dojimas. We haven't talked about any of the social links, Adachi, Izanami, any of that crazy shit. We haven't talked about Marie, who is awesome. Fight me. Anybody who doesn't like Marie is just wrong, sorry.
And for fuck's sake, we're not even done talking about the cast, like the party members. Like, there's way more we could be talking about.
I mean, there's so much.
Like, fuck, dude, Persona 4 is so good.
Persona 4 is so goddamn good. I mean, you owe it to yourself to play this game. And I mean, if anybody's listening to this podcast right now, it's because you've played it. But still, go replay it. Because if you haven't played it in a while, I guarantee you don't realize how good Persona 4 actually is until you play it again. And just kind of sit there and go, holy shit, this game is really fucking good.
And
like...
What's really, really nice about the Persona franchise, and, like, I'm really, really grateful for this, is that I'm playing 5, and I'm absolutely loving 5, and I'm, like, leaning towards, like, physically, I like physically playing 5 way more than 4.
Right.
But, like, for the same reason, like, that, like, playing Mass Effect 2 is, like, I never want to play Mass Effect 1 again. Like, I'm so grateful that, like, Persona 4 doesn't feel, like, invalidated by 5's existence to me. You know, like, as much as I love all the quality of life improvements for 5, I still want to go back and play 4.
Because all of the quality of life improvements in 5 are things that were springboarded off the quality of life improvements from the Golden. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And all of the stuff they added in 5 is not necessarily, like, vital to the enjoyment of the game. It's just, like, new cool shit. Like the fact that all social links now give you some kind of benefit. And all the little different things you can do in the fusion now. Like, all of that kind of stuff is cool. Don't get me, like, it's super cool. The fact that you have a list to tell you which social link is where. Stuff like that. Those are all really great quality of life improvements. They make the game way better to play. The battle system is faster and just, like, way more intuitive and easy. But none of that shit is important to like the overall quality of the game. If you removed all of it and put Persona 5 on Persona 4's system, or the Golden system in finger quotes, you would still have a damn good game. Mm-hmm. And that's why the Golden just is still served perfectly fine.
And you know what it really is that a lot of the quality of life improvements for 5 are fixing problems that 5 introduces. Mm-hmm. Like, because 5 is so much bigger of a game, like, you don't need the fusion, the sacrifice boost in 5. You don't need that in 4. Mm-hmm. You don't need to track where your social links are because 4's map is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
So it's so it's so great that, like, even while I'm playing 5, I'm not like upset that, like, okay, I never want to go back and play 4 again, because, like, because it kind of happened with 3 and to 4, because because once you got full party control in 4, you never wanted to go back and play Classic 3. I mean, you could play the PSP, the portable version, because that had the free control, but, like, you would never want to go back to indirect control of your party after playing 4.
No, because you realize now that it's just a hassle. Like, it's not even... It's like an artificial difficulty kind of thing. Like, it's not like It's not like the boss fight is hard. It's just you're not only fighting against the boss's AI, you're fighting against your party's AI. Like, it's not a true difficulty. It's just annoying. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's why you can never go back and play Vanilla 3 after playing Persona 4, because it's just not as fun. Like, yeah, it's harder, sure, and I love hard video games, don't get me wrong. But this isn't fun hard. It's frustrating hard. It's I died to a boss because Mitsuru decided to use Marin fucking Karen hard.
Exactly.
You know? Like, meanwhile, like, Persona 5 doesn't make Persona 4 look like a bad game in retrospect. Honestly, in a lot of ways, Persona 5 makes Persona 4 look better, because when we get to the Persona 5 cast, I've got a few quibbles with Persona 5 that it's not a perfect game. Persona 4 is a perfect video game, or as close as you're ever gonna get to perfection. Mm-hmm. You know? Like...
Right, totally.
Like, and that's not to say that P5 is bad, but it's not as good as 4.
It's a 98% compared to 100%.
Exactly. I mean, that is just how good Persona 4 really is. It is boggling how good Persona 4 really is. We are almost at the 2-hour and 45-minute mark of this podcast, and I still don't think I've gotten across how good Persona 4 is. Like, I don't know, unless you actually play it, you can't get it, because it does everything right. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And we've got, and anytime anytime you see Persona 4 show up in the feed from now on, it's because we didn't have a topic for the week.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we can always just roll back and talk about P4.
It's like, yeah, we've got, we don't know what to talk about today. Let's just talk about the social links in Persona 4. You know? Just get a list of them and go down all of them and talk. That's probably what the next Persona cast is going to be about.
Probably.
So, be ready for that. Oh, God, Persona 4 is fucking good.
So fucking good. Okay, but we need to stop, though, because otherwise we're going to go for like another 3 hours, and I need to sleep at some point in my life.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Thanks to Vistager for use of our background music, link to his work in the description. We are on Twitter at The Gorge Podcast, or you can email us about Persona 4 at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. Sarah, plug your other podcast.
Hey, I actually briefly mentioned it in this podcast sooner. I'm in another podcast. It's called Big Gay Nerds. It's an LGBT RPG live play podcast. I got it right this time.
Yeah!
Where once a month we play a different game. Just me and a bunch of friends sit around and play some really dope-ass RPGs, and you should come listen to us. We're on SoundCloud at Big Gay Nerds. We're on Twitter, I think, at Big Gay Nerds, and we're on Tumblr at Big Gay Nerds. So yeah, we're pretty easy to find.
So, yeah, I think that'll be it then. Fuck those two bitches.
God, fuck those two bitches. Whatever. Do some goddamn work in your life, you bitches.
Yeah.
Whatever. Good night, everyone.
Good night.